the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Shalom, shalom, how are you? Come on in.
The East is where we're from.
Bless you, brothers and sisters. Bless you, bless you.
The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell.
Hit the like button. Come on in.
We went through the Euphrates.
The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went.
The 12 tribes of Israel.
That's who we be.
We be.
Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the islands of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel.
Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians,
Simeon,
the Dominicans, our highest gathering in
Arabs.
Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us,
at gunpoint,
together our wives and children then sold us.
in the belly of these slave ships,
Belly of these great ships we traveled in fear.
by the rivers of Babylon,
By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here.
right here.
A high gatherer in Colombia, Reuben from Australia,
Moving from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans.
highest gathering in Israel. The Negroes, Benjamin the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, the highest gathering in Israel.
That's right, brothers and sisters. The Most High's gather in Israel. I'm Elder Rawchaa of the Gathering of Christ Church, here with our weekly podcast, broadcast, and yes, we have Zoom in tow, as well as Blog Talk, if it's allowed this evening. Blessings. I hope you all are doing fine. Good. You all know what to do as you come in based on this channel being shadow banned. Hit the like button, please. Hit it for me. Okay. Jumping right in just to get this out of the way real quick. Yes, we are in a new Hebrew and Bible Academy, week 1 of the Academy. Okay. We are in week 1. And of course, we went into the creation of the universe, highlighting that darkness that was at the face of the deep. Well, that darkness has now what? Come to the surface. And actually, that darkness rules the world. That darkness ruled the world as we speak, which leads me to my broadcast this evening titled, Satan's Agents Exposed. And I know everyone out there is looking at what's going on with Cat Williams and the comedian Spats and all these others Oh my God, it broke the internet. But folks, let me tell you, what Cat Williams exposed pales in comparison to what they're hiding in plain sight while everyone is looking the other way. And I'm going to talk about that this evening. Okay? Because, folks, those who are really controlling how things are really going on in the earth, believe me, the last thing they'll do is stand on stage and tell jokes. And that's not to downplay the intelligence and the artistic skill it takes to deliver a joke, okay? That's rooted in some level of truth. One moment. Someone says that there's an echo. Hold on. One moment. I don't know what's going on here. Let me check. 1 second. All right. All right. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me check one thing. All right. Okay. All right, let's try this. Okay. Of course, that's a lot better. Okay, don't worry about it. All right, thank you. It should be fine right now. And again, I'm Elder Rawchaa of the Gathering of Christ Church. And yes, the echo should be gone at this point, I hope, right? The echo's gone, correct? Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. One second. Is it good now? We're great? All clear. Okay, thank you. All right, let me put this over there. I'm Elder Rawchaa of the Gathering of Christ Church. Brothers and sisters here with another very important broadcast, okay? Again, for those who don't know, we are in week 2 this coming Sunday of our Hebrew and Bible Academy. We just passed week 1, the creation of the universe, okay? Now, when breaking down the creation of the universe, we also highlighted the darkness that was at the face of the deep, and I'm going to really expose that darkness in week 2 when it comes to what? Tracing the serpent seed, all right? We're going into this Bible. We're going to break it down. We're going to use some extra biblical texts. We're going to use Enoch, Book of Jasher, the Bible. We're going to also teach brothers and sisters in this academy on how to precept. We're going to expose the darkness, the real power structure behind your politicians this coming Sunday, okay? You all are invited, and if you do enroll, we will give you week 1's lesson missed. You'll get the Hebrew as well as the new segment, which was off the chains, as well as the lesson. And for the brothers and sisters out there who are, who usually, you may be busy on Sundays. It might be one of your only days off. That's fine. If you enroll, it doesn't matter if you are free Sunday to actually view the broadcast live, even though that's a great experience in of itself. You can enroll and see the videos at any time during the week, okay? Our administration gives you a link. You have access to it. So if you're busy on Sunday, if that's one of your days off, you can forego that. You may have to work Sunday, but don't worry about it. You still can view the videos, the content, which is important, anytime between this week and next week. So don't let that dissuade you from enrolling if you are busy on Sundays. Don't let that dissuade you. You can still get all the content, everything, and actually listen to it at your own convenience. I wanted to put that out there, okay? That's first and foremost. All right, let me go over this real quick. The theme of this particular academy, and I thank you all for supporting this. All right. Joining the next academy, mastering the wisdom of the Bible. We need to teach you how to wield this sword, okay? This book. All right. Okay. And this Hebrew and Bible Academy, which started last Sunday, it doesn't matter because you'll get, if you enroll immediately by tomorrow, you'll have everything you've missed Sunday. So don't worry about it. Okay. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. Proverbs 19, verse 8. Okay. Usually we try to do this between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. every Sunday. Hebrew, the original, not the Yiddish you see today, which is really, believe it or not, a bastardized version or an updated modern version of the Hebrew. No, we go way back to the ancient Phoenician. That's what you learn here. Okay, you learn the true history of the world according to the Bible, and you get real prophetic world news. Okay, and we did pump things up for you a little bit. We will be going into detail the identity of Ruth, one of the major mothers in the Bible. Okay, directly, she's one of the people, one of the mothers who brought forth the bloodline of our Savior. There's a lot of discrepancy out there concerning her ethnicity, and we can prove she was not a Moabite, okay? She was in a specific land that Moabites were wiped off of, and we're going to show you the precepts on how to give understanding to that, okay? Christ isn't part Judah and part Moabite, okay? That's a lie. And the reason why they want you to believe that is because those who deal with the conversion to Judaism would like to justify that conversion by claiming Ruth also converted into Judaism. So they use these plays in the Old Testament based on their rabbis, okay, oral traditions and oral interpretations to justify what's going on in that religion, when Ruth has nothing to do with that, okay? Ruth was an Israelite, and we can prove it. We're going to also go into the Jewish relationship with the tribe of Judah, okay? How there have always been throughout history a love-hate relationship where society couldn't run without those two, okay? Be it the European Jews as well as Judah, who we know are the blacks who ran into Africa and now went into exile into different parts of the earth, including America. But we've always had that love-hate relationship, and we're going to discuss that relationship in detail historically, that historical relationship, folks, on a serious scholarly level in this academy. You don't want to miss that. For the first time, we're going into this, the Jewish relationship between European Jewish people and the tribe of Judah. Great concept. That will be a great teaching. All praises be to the Most High if it be His will. 70 angels and their connection to the secrets of the times, how the angels are utilized from the realm side to bring in prophecy, which leads to what? Redemption at the end. And that's right, folks. The promise, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to break down the secrets of the times and show you how to actually calculate time according to the heavens and not according to the Julian calendar or any other calendars down here, because that's right. Daniel 7:25 said that they would think to change times and laws. So no, they came in to try to throw things off, but the Most High gave us Enoch, gave us the books of Moses, the testaments, jubilees, even the Bible itself, to get us back on course. You cannot tell time according to prophecy or holy days according to the moon. Moses was warned to never go by the moon solely, because the moon follows the sun. That's right. Follows the sun through portals to keep time. You cannot, that's right, you cannot keep time with one hand on a watch. Okay? Why? Again, the moon has 6 months, 30 days, and 6 months, 29 days. When you add that up, that's 354 days, which means it comes in early, what? 10 days every year. So if you go by the moon,
You'll disturb the seasons, the times, as well as the holy days. And that's why those who are in Judaism and other, even though they say Passover and all that, they're not even following the Passover on the day according to how it was established with Moses, and I can prove it. And we have a calendar coming. You can get that calendar. That's right. Put in your pre-orders and get back on time according to 52 Sabbaths. That's how it works. There's 52 Sabbaths, 364 days. That's right. The solar as well as the moon. They work together in tandem. They work together to give time, not the moon. The Babylonians were worshiping who? The moon goddess, knowing that you have masculine and female. Sun, the sun with his strength, masculine. Moon, that's right, feminine. The Most High have done that since the beginning in creation, masculine and feminine. Well, guess what? You cannot follow the moon because the moon is off course. Okay, you must follow the sun and the moon together to keep time. And that's what we're teaching in the Secrets of the Times. How do you calculate time? And where are we according to the end times with those dates? We're going to show you in the academy. The full breakdown on the 24 elders in the book of Revelation. You don't want to miss that. We're going to have a marriage roundtable discussion with special guests. Some people in the world are going to come in and we're going to have a discussion because obviously everyone has an opinion. But what none of us can deny is that family is under attack and relationships are what? Unsustainable under its current model. And we're going to talk about that. Let's not talk about what someone did to one another, because why? Everyone been hurt in this earth, okay? Everyone has had a heartbreak. So we can't use these excuses to not get on code according to God. We can't use these excuses of being hurt to why we can't do our function, male or female, regardless of our circumstance. We've all been hurt. And you know what? It's a shame that we've all been hurt. But none of us have been hurt, more hurt than Christ. Okay? He did nothing at all and was rejected. So we need to get off our soapboxes according to why we choose not to do what's right and just choose to do what's right, regardless of our past. And we're going to talk about that. Walking with the commandments in Christ and more in this academy. You don't want to miss the academy. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Okay, whenever you're ready. Okay. And this week, yes, we do have survival tips each academy. Last week, it was how to actually make a fire. You can find something outside and actually be able to, if you need to, create your own fire, not for arson purposes, but for survival purposes. Okay. So that was our first tip. And that was a great tip the brother did with us. We thank him for that. And this week, we're going into how to prepare a go bag. Go bag preparedness. That's right. When Christ said what? When the stuff hits, you can't go into the house. You can't, you got to roll. So you got to have your go bag in a place where if you must operate like a pilgrim on earth and get out in the midst of some chaos like they're stirring up now, have everything you need to survive throughout chaos in your bag. We're going to show people, our brothers and sisters, those particular tips on what to have for every circumstance in an emergency in your bag. That's right. We have survival and preparedness throughout this whole academy also. So I hope you get involved. Okay. I hope you get involved. Now, go to historytimes.org to enroll. All right. Now, where are we going at with this? And whenever Lawya can come in, whenever he would like to come in, I can pull him in. But I wanted to jump right in. Okay, that's why I started this early. I didn't want it to be 7 o'clock before we actually went into the topic here, right? There's a lot of weird things going on right now. A lot of weird scenarios to a degree that most cannot make sense of it, right?
Folks, the kingdom is for a few. Right? And the reality of the matter that it comes down to that at the end of the day, even though we want everyone to make it, right? We must search out our own soul salvation with fear and trembling, like the Most High says. And I'm going to tell you why. The enemy has worked overtime to teach everyone to operate according to their individual moral compass, where nothing is absolute concerning right or wrong, which is intentional. So it's my position not to try to, fix every individual, right, out there who may have a hang up with the Bible or whatever the case is, who may have their own idea of what's right or wrong, right? It's our stance using this Bible through the Spirit of Christ to actually do what? To expose the darkness. Because you just can't fix every individual who's under the program, who's under the spell, if you may. You must ghost bust. You must expose. Listen to me clearly. You must expose those who have the people under the spell. Once you break them, the people begin to wake up and understand that they cannot operate according to their own moral compass. Right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. See, and this is what Satan and his, I would say, his soldiers has done. Right? Think about it. When I was a kid, right? You would have someone, a jokester or someone who would do something. And once you figure out who it was, right? That individual who was slapping you in the back of the head or whatever the case is, and you finally understand who that person was, and they know you got them between the crosshairs. You know now. What is the first thing they do, folks? The first thing they'll do is what? They'll begin to run, and on top of running, they'll begin to throw all types of stuff in the path and zigzag to try to get away. Well, folks, that's exactly what's going on with your so-called leaders in the earth today. This is organized chaos, and they know that they can no longer hide amongst us or hide at all. That we know who are the agents of Satan. So they have put out labels so too many people cannot speak to their evil without being what? Politically ostracized or what? Canceled altogether. Right? So it's just like that little guy who did all these tricks at what? Doing all these things behind closed doors like your Wizard of Oz, right? And no sooner as you figured out who was doing the chaos, they start to run. And on top of running, they begin to make things more confusing by throwing everything in its paths during the getaway. And that's why when I see Cat Williams and all these others, it's not that we as a people can't celebrate light shining on darkness. But folks, I'm looking online and I tend to see every time you go online, the exposing of what you would call elite or rich black people. Y'all notice that? You notice that? You notice that, folks, that no one is safe who have laid down with snakes, right? Tyler Perry, T.D. Jakes, and they knocking them down like dominoes. And you know what? No one is thinking that, okay, there's a plan behind every time you wake up. There's a new exposed video in which they use AI
for voices so that no one can be sued, exposing black people. But I'm not even going there today. I'm not going there. They expect everyone to stay on this Cat Williams thing when there's a lot more serious things going on when it comes to really exposing Satan's agents. And we're going to talk about it today. We are going to talk about it. Now, before we begin to talk about it, right? Now, remember the analogy. Okay, remember the analogy I've given you, that once you start to see who's behind the chaos, they began to just throw everything in our path so to make a clean getaway, right? So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to parse through their mess or weave through their mess to try to, just argue every point of confusion that the enemy has placed out there. I'm going to their end game, right? Why is there so much chaos, confusion, right? Organized chaos. Who's behind it? Right? Hold on. Who's behind this organized chaos? Right? Let's get it here. 1 second. Who's behind this organized chaos? Right? I had it here earlier. What is their end game? Boy, do I have a few things to show you all today. Hit the like button, right? Y'all need to see this. Let me get it here. Let me get it here. 1 second. Let me get it here. 1 second. I had it. 1 second. The Peruta. That's it. Get it here. I am in right now. For those who've been following Judaism or know anything about it, usually it's a hush belief to those who are, predominantly in mainstream religion. What's going on when it comes to the overall objectives within the religion of Judaism and those who believe in that particular religion, right? They have sages, which are rabbis. Well, I need y'all to check this out from the Sanhedrin. What is the end game? So we're not going to look at what the I would say what the communicators are putting out there as forms of diversion, to divert, be it the news, media, whatever the case is. We need to know, what do they religiously believe is the end game? And what are they seeking to assist when it comes to the prophecies they believe in? Right? Right? So let's go here first. Right? Where are we here? We're in the Talmud. Now, of course, there's so much I'm going to talk about in the academy when it comes to the relationship of Judah, which is the black man in America, and those who are in different parts of Africa, and the tribes, and the European Jewish people. We're going to have a discussion on that in the academy. But what is the end game according to their belief? Okay, when it comes to the Messiah, what must happen in order for their Messiah, to appear? Now, mind you, those that believe in Judaism, they don't believe in Christ. So they're not waiting for our Messiah. Now, mind you, Christ said there's only two masters. Okay? Either you serve the master who sent Christ, which is God himself, or Satan. So what must happen according to their belief? Well, I'm going to give you all a little insight to how we're going to be tackling, some discussions within the academy. It states here, the sages, which are their high learnt men, right? Their top rabbis. The sages taught in a barita, right? The sages taught, let me put this down, in a barita, right? The verse states, the Lord shall judge his people and atone for his servants, right? When he see that their power is gone and there is none shut up or left. Then they reference Deuteronomy 32 and 36 in their Talmud, but keep in mind, the Bible that I've read have nothing to do with what they're saying in this Talmud, okay? They're just using the precepts to justify their philosophy and their belief concerning the coming of their Messiah. From the phase their power is gone, it is derived from the Son of David will not come until what? Let me get this out of the way again. Will not come until informers will proliferate. Right? I'm in there. Talmud. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come. The Messiah will not come until the number of the students of Torah diminishes. So there's a prophecy that the students that are learning under Judaism must begin to dry up, which they'll need less of those Orthodox or whatever the case might be by this time. Listen to me clearly. Alternatively, right here, listen to me clearly. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the Peruta. Until the Peruta, right here, will cease. Until the Peruta will cease. From the purse. I apologize. They have it where every time you click on something, it opens up another thing. But let me just put it here and read it by pointing. I'm going to use the pointer here, right? See that? Y'all see that, Peruta? So there will be what? A diminishing of the students who are learning Torah. That means under Orthodox Judaism. Right? Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the Peruta will cease from the purse. Now, what does that mean, folks? That their Messiah will not come until the Peruta will cease from the purse. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until they despair from the redemption, as it is said, and there is none shut up or left, as though there were no supporter or helper for the Jewish people. Right? Now let's focus on this for a minute. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the Peruta will cease from the purse. Folks, what does that mean? Why have no one told me about this prophecy that's within Judaism? Don't forget there's justification for everything that's going on over there now based on these same prophecies right? That was spoken through what? Oral tradition. And it make it where those in authority within the religion must push forth the prophecy. Now, the peruta is what? The peruta is a low denomination of coin. It's the lowest number of coin. Peruta is purse. So, the Messiah will not come until there's no more money in your bank account. They must control your finances. See, it's in the prophecy that money must be gone where you have no control over your what? Over your person, being able to buy, have assets, land, anything. They believe that's right, folks, that's right, according to the Talmud, that the Messiah cannot come until you're broke. Did y'all know that? Now that's deep. That's the belief system from those who don't even believe in Christ, which verifies everything John said on the Isle of Patmos, Revelation 13, that they're going to present a cashless society where your cash will be in you. Either you bow to the beast and get that mark, an etching in the skin or a prick in the skin, which does what? Connect you through biometrics to your money. See, I'm not here trying to speak to every person who's confused to try to get them to understand when they're under the signal, not realizing who's in control of the signal. Okay, it's futile. See, and this is why, you had sages and rabbis in the past who had a problem with Christ, because he wasn't going to deal with the confusion they throw on the road or the chaos. He dealt with their intent. He dealt with what was in their heart. And he went straight for the jugular when it comes to exposing the wickedness. And then at that point, you give everyone else a choice on whether or not you want to follow those who are behind the signal, who's getting exposed, or deal with the same prophecy that are coming on them once the Messiah comes. And when I say come on them, those who don't believe in Christ, right? Y'all see that? So I know the end game. So now when I see with each week, cash becoming a bad thing, machines all up over the place where you're rarely using cash money anymore, it's starting to come into what? A reality that what? This is the plan. Because they believe they're waiting for their Messiah, right? And we know it's not our Messiah. And they believe that Messiah cannot come until the whole world has no control over their own finances. Now, you can call it conspiracy. This ain't conspiracy, folks. This is a religious belief. Now, imagine if you have the power to execute that religious belief. Just say you have a military, political influence, power. Suppose every puppet that's operating in this earth really has no power outside of the money that's being funneled to them, right? As nothing more than sock puppets. Y'all see that? I wanted y'all to see that. Now there's more. I'm going to be breaking down more prophecies out of the Talmud. Getting that economy, folks, you have to see it because you'll understand. That's the only way you'll understand why certain things are shaped politically. You'll never understand unless you understand. You got to read,
their beliefs. And those, you have to read the Talmud, and you'll understand everything according to what they believe and what they're progressing going forward. The progression is in place politically to push these prophecies, right? Let me bring in Elder Lawya 1 second. Y'all see that? Hope y'all see that. Let me bring in Lawya 1 second. Audio. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Let me bring in Lawya. I had to jump right in with this info because I can't be here all night, and we really have to hit it, be quite effective, and roll this thing tonight.
Denomination of corn.
Shalom, Elder Lawya. How are you?
Yes, sir. Shalom. I'm well. Yourself?
All right. I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. Yeah. Let me give it up for Elder Lawya.
Right.
Shalom.
Shalom.
There it is. Let's go. Yeah, Elder Lawya, I was letting people know I was going into this Torah because, we have that relationship. What is the secret relationship between Judah, which is the black man, and those who are under Judaism?
Right.
This love-hate relationship. And I was letting people know that there's a lot of self-fulfilling prophecies out there, like the one I just read in the Sanhedrin, where their sages, their top wise men have written that their Messiah cannot come until the whole world is broke. Yeah. I don't know if you ever read the prophecy. Let me read it again for you, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Let me read the prophecy for you. I hope, is you waiting for this one? Check this out. Hey, listen. I tell you right here, look. It says right here, right? Let me show you. It says, now listen, because this is serious for what we've experienced and seen exactly what's going on in New York right now when it comes to, a synagogue situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says right here, Elder Lawya, and I'm in Sanhedrin 97a, okay? Now, I don't believe in this. I believe in Christ. I believe in the Torah and the Tanakh, right? I don't believe in sages bringing forth their own oral traditions and sayings and trying to use our precepts in the Bible to confirm their own views. That's not the correct way of breaking down this Bible. Okay, I trust the Bible over a particular man's, I would say, oral view on the book. So, but we still need to know what they're thinking to understand where all this is going, right?
Right.
So let me pull you in over here as I read it again. Now you've joined us, right? Let's do it. Where are you, Elder Lawya? There you go. Elder Lawya, here it is. Check out this prophecy. The sages taught in Baraita, the verse states that the Lord shall judge his people and atone for his servants when he sees that their power is gone and there is none shut up or left. Right? From the phase their power is gone, it is derived from the Son of David, will not come until informers will proliferate. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the number of students of Torah diminishes. So it's saying that the number of people who's learning Torah, those schools of teaching Torah isn't going to be necessary because a lot of them will be diminished. Now check out what's going on in the earth right now, right? And we're going to talk about that. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the Peruta will cease from the purse.
The peruta is what? Peruta is a low denomination of coin. So that means the Messiah cannot come until each individual has no power financially. Peruta is what? It's like having a penny in comparison, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it tells you that the Messiah will not come until what? The penny. Not even 1 cent. Until the penny will cease from the purse. That means no one has no control financially. A cashless system. When now, that's right, the overlords are in full control. Now, these are self-fulfilling prophecies. If they know the Messiah cannot come until everyone is broke or until they're at the behest of governments financially, then it's upon them to bring forth this prophecy, right? It's in their benefit waiting for this Messiah. We know it's not our Messiah, but it's in their benefit to move things along to where no one have anything, any finances to protect themselves. Huh? How many of you knew this? Right? I know you probably heard of this prophecy before. I brought this out years ago, but I thought we should talk about it today. And so to not have any people confused, Elder Lawya, so to not have anyone confused when they begin to throw the chaos at us from different angles. And I use the analogy. Once you know, right, who's been behind things all the time and it's eventually get exposed, they begin to run and throw many things in the trail while getting away. And when I say many things, Elder Lawya, it can be the Chinese, it can be immigration, it can be demoralized music, it can be perversion, it can be whatever they would like as long as you're not in their way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to speak. Speaking of Chinese, Elder Lawya, speaking of Chinese, right? I think you're going to have to hear this, right? Let me put it up here. I'm going to put it up here so you can hear it, right? I want you to hear this, right? Speaking of the Chinese, because a lot of people might think, and they're going to lie on the news and tell people that, yeah, America is losing its steam and Chinese is have gained power over America, and watch out that America has now been overtaken by the Chinese. Folks, listen, okay? There's no way China would be able to do anything we see in here if it wasn't allowed by them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that China is the immediate threat financially and otherwise and believe so. And then no sooner as Biden was voted into office, he did an anti-hate bill protecting the Asians. So I'm putting it out there so that you don't fall for the diversion, because these will be indirect attacks by the same people in power, using other people as pawns. Okay? Elder Lawya, I'm going to pull this up so that they can all see this. 1 second. And everything that I'm dealing with today is from a religious standpoint. I believe that every man everywhere, regardless of race, have an opportunity to repent from their sins. I have nothing personal against any particular people or person. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me put that out there. All right? If you choose to follow Satan, that's your choice. I don't have to agree with it, but I can point out, according to my religious view, what following Satan looks like. All right? That's all I can do. Right? So, Elder Lawya, 1 second here. And let me see if they can all hear me. All right. So Gordon Chang speaks of illegal immigrants from China at the U.S. border are actually Chinese soldiers. Okay? Let me pull that up first. I thank my brother, okay, Bishop Kazak, for sending this to me. Fair use, for educational use only.
Gordon, I mentioned the number of apprehensions at the southern border of Chinese nationals over the...
Hold on. Let me get it again.
...are running from the Communist Party.
Hold on, let me get it again.
Gordon, I mentioned the number of apprehensions at the southern border of Chinese nationals. Over the last year, it is up 1,300%. Do you think these people are running from the Communist Party, or are they being directed to come and stay in America until further word?
Both. First of all, we're seeing desperate middle-class Chinese. These are generally not poor people because they can afford to pay $35,000 a head to the Mexican cartels to bring them in. But among them are packs of males of between 5 and 15 who are of military age, not coming with family groups, pretending not to speak English, and engaging in Chinese military rituals like drinking blood. A border section patrol chief said that some of them are known to have Chinese military affiliations. So clearly these are saboteurs coming into America to wage war on the United States on the first day that there is war in Asia.
Oh.
That is just drinking blood? Is that what you just said?
Yes. One of the Chinese military rituals is to slaughter an animal, in this case, chickens. Michael Yan, a war correspondent, has seen this. And they drink the blood. And this was done in a hotel in Panama after they crossed the Darien Gap from Colombia. So we know that these...
And, man, these actors, Elder Lawya, you know, not that I agree with everything that Trump says, but when he talks about fake news or whatever the case is, but I digress, like they don't know about the bloodletting and drinking of blood within these secret conclaves of religions they are a part of. And I'm going to go into that. I mean, a few years ago, there was a big thing with Azealia Banks, a sister from New York, sacrificing chickens under her satanic African religion in her closet. Had 3 years of mess in there. They're trying to act like blood drinking is something new. So what are they saying? These aren't just regular military people who are being allowed to come through the borders. They're coming with a ritualistic, satanic agenda against those who are moral, those who believe. And these people are, again, being allowed to come into the country, folks. This isn't a conspiracy theory. We are listening to Fox News right here. Listen to it again.
Gordon, I mentioned the number of apprehensions at the southern border of Chinese nationals. Over the last year, it is up 1,300%. Do you think these people are running from the Communist Party, or are they being directed to come and stay in America until further word?
So now what they've done through their mind job right here is to give you the talking point as to what to say when this happens.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You notice that? Because normally if you have some wild Asians running through the country drinking blood and on some demon stuff, you know, somebody need to explain what's going on here, right? But now what they're doing through their media programming is giving you the talking points so when it happens, we can sound smart concerning something that we would normally rally together against, right? It must be who behind the blood drinking Chinese army coming into America, right? Ununiformed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now listen, I'm going to show you how their magic works, folks.
Gordon, I mentioned the number of apprehensions at the southern border of Chinese nationals. Over the last year, it is up 1,300%. Do you think these people are running from the Communist Party, or are they being directed to come and stay in America until further word?
There it is. No, yeah, I heard about that, man. They running from the Communist Party.
Right.
No, you can, around the water cooler at the barbershop, as you getting your iced tea together, you're sitting there at the water cooler at the job saying, oh, no, they running from the Communist Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we're seeing desperate middle-class Chinese. These are generally not poor people.
So now this destroys the line that these are asylum seekers. So what's really coming in under the cover of poor people who originally came from Venezuela? So he says these are middle-class Chinese.
Afford to pay $35,000 a head to the
and they're willing to pay $35,000 per person to be allowed to come through to the Mexican cartel.
Mexican cartels to bring them in. But among them are packs of males of between 5 and 15 who are of military age, not coming with family groups, pretending not to speak English, and engaging in Chinese military rituals like drinking blood.
Chinese rituals. So now we understand, Elder Lawya, this is a spiritual warfare.
Right.
That's allowed. That's being allowed, folks. An invasion that's allowed. Now, I wonder what neighborhood they're going to allow these blood drinking Asians to come into. We're going to talk about that in a moment. This is still throwing everything on the road for the getaway. They know that America has been dismantled and sold apart. So now it's the getaway now. Let us throw all the chaos in at once during the getaway. And then let's see if the God you believe in saves you now. Right?
Section patrol chief said that some of them are known to have Chinese military affiliations. So clearly these are saboteurs coming into America to wage war on the United States on the first day that there is war in Asia.
That is just drinking blood? Is that what you just said?
Yes. One of the Chinese military rituals is to slaughter an animal, in this case, chickens. Michael Yan, a war correspondent, has seen this. And they drink the blood. And this was done in a hotel in Panama after they crossed the Darien Gap from Colombia. So we know that these are Chinese military coming into our country.
Now, see, Elder Lawya, one thing I can give these people that are coming over and those that are worshiping Satan, right? If you can give them any credit, they go all the way in on worshiping the devil. Mm-hmm. And look, and they're able to do this. Why? Because those who believe in Christ haven't been raised spiritually to oppose them. Think about that for a moment. Think about what we're saying and what we're talking about in the Christian church, who's supposed to be the greatest opposition against Satan right now. What they can talk about the blood of Jesus all they want and all that other crap they're talking about. Folks, you're not going to be able to pray this away. Even Paul said faith without works are dead. Okay? And these are straight Satanists coming over. Okay, and if you think they're going to stop at chickens when it comes to drinking blood, you got another thing coming. Elder Lawya, let's read a scripture on this drinking of blood real quick. This is why our God forbade us not to operate like this. So what are people missing, others missing when they hear that particular story? Blood, that's nasty. They nasty people. No, those who can spiritually see understand that a spiritual war has been waged in the earth. And they're doing all types of rituals to open up portals for power against those who truly believe in Christ. See?
Let's go there, Elder Lawyer. Let's go there, Leviticus 7, because I have a lot lined up here, right? Hold on. So let me bring you here. I want to make sure I get through these in a timely fashion here, right? Elder Lawyer, let's go to Leviticus 27 and 25. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. Leviticus 7, verse 25. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
No, let's go straight to the blood.
All right, verse 26.
26, let's read it.
Moreover, ye shall not eat any manner of blood.
Any manner of what?
Any manner of blood.
Any manner of blood, read.
Whether it be of fowl or of beast, that in any of your dwellings.
And this is speaking of, folks, ritualistic sacrifice of drinking the blood, witchcraft, sorcery. These are that they have actually financed to come in to wage war against believers. Now the Christian right, they've been prepared for this for a long time. I need y'all to think about this. The Christian right stood on the side of conservatism, stating, nah, we're pro-life. We know what happens when you decide to come against children. We're Bible-believing Christian right. We believe in family, God, and we don't believe in all this trance and all this other stuff y'all having out there, because we need the moral high ground so that when they open up the floodgates, these blood-drinking Satanists can have at those who have actually abused themselves through liberalism. Listen to what I'm saying, folks. And the Christian right also have prepared themselves with the defense in case someone think that they can come on their porch and try to take what's theirs. Right? Moreover, you shall eat no manner of blood. Read.
Whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings.
Read.
Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Even shall that soul be cut off from his people. And these were the laws given to Moses, folks. Because it's not just the blood in of itself, but the rituals they're doing with this, which is what? Opening their spirits up for demon possession. And they're doing this to wage war against any people they're placed around. And you'll never guess where they're going to place these people. Huh? And while we're in the church, Christian church, talking about what? The law's done away with. You should not judge evil. We can welcome everyone the way you are, unchanged.
Mm-hmm.
While you're sitting there promoting what? Perversions, anti-Bible rhetoric.
Right.
Understand the spiritual war these Christians aren't prepared to win. Okay? Because you're not actually believing in the Christ within the Bible. So there's no defense for you. And now these are coming over with full authority under Satan to take out anyone who don't believe. Think about that. That's just one faction, one part of it, Elder Lawyer, right? Now, let's pivot. Let's pivot now. How did they begin to demoralize the world to a degree where the people are totally exposed or open for a takeover? Right? How did they get to a point where it's now, well, okay, we can throw everything we can and more, and the kitchen sink and more against these people?
And I keep on saying this because they were able to demoralize the children of Israel in America. Targeting on what? Demoralizing our people. Why? Because they were afraid of our influence. Our influence positively can change the world. And that in of itself can slow what they're doing prophetically concerning what they believe in the Talmud. If there's a moral world, it'll be a while before they can get to that point that they need to for a cashless society. They're dealing with those measurements according to the Spirit for those who can understand. They can progress their system, the more they can demoralize our people or allow our people to get demoralized. Right? Now, there's something you sent me, Elder Lawya, and I've been chopping at the bit on this since you sent it to me. It was the brother from
You think Sanford and Son?
the brother from Sanford and Son,
Yes, sir.
right? I even have his book here. I ordered his book. I ordered 2, so I'm gonna give you one.
Yes, sir.
Right.
It's water.
In the bar. He has a book that was written in the year 2000. DeMond Wilson, The New Age Millennium. Right? The New Age Millennium, an expose of symbols, slogans, and hidden agendas. Now, he was the son who played Lamont on Sanford and Son. He became a pastor. Okay, I'm just breaking a little bit, just doing an overview, so I don't got to go into every part of him, right? Of what we're talking about here, right? He had a book. It's amazing that the majority of things from a biblical perspective that he was talking about back then is now in full play, right? But they did what? They didn't celebrate him as a pioneer of comedy when it comes to the golden ages of entertainment, because they were afraid of what he knew, right? He believed in Christ. He taught thousands of people in Africa. And he had a book called The New Age Millennium, saying that the world need to be ready because they're going to cut hell loose on earth under the New Age. The New Age in of itself is a time where they can no longer conceal their true intentions on earth as Satanists. So they needed to keep the people asleep for a while they actually put their full plan in place so that no one could oppose them at the very end when they're exposed. Once the world started exposing them or pointing to them as what? The puppet masters. But Elder Lawya, something in particular that leads us here today that I want to talk about. Hollywood. They don't know the connection between the masters and Hollywood. Well, when you look up Hollywood, when you talk about Hollywood, it's what? Hollywood was a Celtic wood, right? Hollywood is and was a Celtic wood. And it says here, witches allegedly avoid them when flying over hedges. And yet holly is supposedly a choice wood for crafting magic wands. The wood is alleged to possess an innate ability for control. So they use the magic wand to control people. Like I said, no one has the power to get to every person to break their spell. We must expose the spell masters. That's the only way people can wake up or choose to stay in the matrix. Indeed, true or not, coachmen and plowmen preferred whips from capiced holly well into the 19th century. So you'll never guess what they use to whip slaves, Elder Lawya. The Hollywood. you must whip your slaves into submission. And at the same time, keep them under control. So that's what we're seeing now with your so-called expose of black entertainers, or those who are breaking bad from amongst their ranks, power, or control. Right? What you're seeing now is the use of the Hollywood to whip those who are breaking bad against the system, who once were utilized as tools to bring forth what they claim their Messiah, by helping them demoralize the world. Right? Oh yeah, we're packing it. Oh yeah. Hey, folks, this is what I'm going to need real quick, because, hey, folks, it took me about a few hours to put this together. Y'all going to help me out. Hit the like button. We're at 2,200 now. I'm going to need at least 500 right now. And as I go into this expose, Satan's agents exposed. So we're going to start off, Elder Lawya, if you will. All right, we're going to start off. All right. His name is Demond Wilson. He played Lamont on Sanford and Son. What a great interview. And of course, you had a young buck interviewing him, and his focus, I don't believe the interviewer, he did a good job, but his focus should have been more broad than what he was trying to actually obtain. But I digress. Right. Demond actually, he kept him on course, put it that way. he was cracking the proverbial whip the whole time. Like, listen, young whippersnapper. And it was, let me tell you, Lawya, thanks for sending that to me, mind you. I mean,
yes,
by
sir.
the way, it was a breath of fresh air. Hearing a man speak like our fathers spoke. Like our uncles spoke. Right? Man, it was a breath of fresh air hearing someone speak as a man, unfiltered, uncensored, without caring about who cares.
Right.
Right? And I'm going to say this. It's a shame, because I believe this interview would set way more people free in their minds. And it's not to downplay the power of what Cat Williams said or did. But I believe what Cat Williams did, right, to some degree when it comes to the paymasters and all that, is actually helping do the job that they're finished with our people anyway as influencers.
Right.
AI is about to become the new influencer. So, it's like, okay, they're knocking down their own dominoes. All right. So we have no use for them anyway, because they know now we can no longer use the blacks as servants. Then they know they're the children of Israel. We must throw everything at them and see if their God help them prevail. Right? That's where it is. Hey, folks, you have to be on a winning team, because this is it right here. Right? This is it. Right? So we're going to go through a few minutes of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this play out, because I need my brothers and sisters to hear this. The brother from Sanford and Son. Right? Demond Wilson. And let me give a shout out for the young man from Comedy Hype News who did the interview. He got the interview, so I'll give him credit. So if y'all want to, I would say if you want to see the whole interview, or great interview, listen to this brother. Very articulate, intelligent. I mean, talented. Right? Let's go right in.
In that we get to speak to the past generation, and those are part of the golden era of Hollywood. Sanford & Son, starring Red Fox and Damon Wilson, would air from 1972 to 1977 and was an immediate hit, becoming one of the top 10 highest rated series on American television. The show reflected the social struggles of the time, and its comedic approach touched a variety of topics. Unfortunately, though, however, Red Fox would abruptly leave the show in 1977 after 6 seasons. Damon Wilson, his co-star, would then have to choose his next path. Now, 46 years later, we will have the chance to speak to Wilson to hear more about his story and what he experienced while making history.
While making history, let's go straight to it. Let me cue it up. I'm going to cue this up to around 8 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm going to let this go for about 4 or 5 minutes. Right? Let's go. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only, okay? Educational purposes only.
1971 to the present. It's only a handful of them that you still remember. Sanford & Son is everywhere. We're in 40 foreign countries in the world. My books are selling around the world. I do interviews. They called me up about Norman Lear last week.
Right.
And I set the record straight on that, because that was a crock. And I don't stand behind anything false.
What was the main point you were trying to make clear about Norman Lear, that he wasn't involved with Sanford & Son as much?
Okay, Norman Lear was a top producer. A matter of fact, let me just, for the sake of levity, give you an insight of the man Damon is exposing. Okay? Right? Norman Lear, remembering Norman Lear, his pioneering LGBTQ inclusive shows. Right? Now check him out now. When you go into the history of Norman Lear, born 1922, right? It says right here, was an American screenwriter, producer who produced, wrote, created, and developed over 100 shows, right? Sitcoms, All in the Family, Maude, Sanford & Son, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Good Times. You have to understand how much influence this man had when it comes to programming over the minds of our people. Right? Now, not that it matters, but let me show you this. Right? Let me go down here. Early life in education. Right? Early life and education. It tell you. 1922 in New Haven, Connecticut, he was born to Jeanette Sokol and Hyman Herman Lear, a traveling salesman. He had a younger sister, Claire Lear Brown. Lear grew up in a Jewish household in Connecticut and had a bar mitzvah ceremony. Both parents were what? Russian Jewish descent. Right? So I'm just giving context here, right? So now, one of those who made one of his shows, Sanford & Son, the hit, the iconic hit, you know, it has become, has something to say about this man, right? He had no idea that this guy would have the foresight to single-handedly, with programs through Hollywood, decimate the United States in of itself. Right? Let's go.
Credit for was that
the main thing was what a lot of people missed. I said, when my agent called me and said, watch the show, I said, I don't want to do television, as I said. And I watched the show. I came away thinking, this is the beginning of the dissolution of the patriarchal system. And on the heels of that, the announcer tried to cut me off. I said, let me finish. Because on the heels of that came Married with Children. And then all of a sudden, parents became idiots and kids became all-knowing. Young women started calling their mother B-I-T-C-H word and rebelling. And it all started. Norman Lear, they asked me what, I said, I will say this about him. He was a visionary.
Right.
But then when I heard about his political affiliations, it all fell into place. And I knew I was right on the money.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm just going to interfere just one time before I let this play. This whole LGBTQ isn't nothing new. Folks, the LGBTQ and the people before they became an organization were in control of many opposing parties against Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Okay, they were in control when it came to scenarios like the Black Panther Party, like the feminists, all of that. So he's going to actually drop that. It wasn't until our current time that they were able to get the political status, not behind the curtain, but now as the face of those who have always controlled the communities. They've always been in position to keep what? An invisible barrier between us and those who control things.
It went on and on and on, ad infinitum, and what we're experiencing now is the evolution of what Norman Lear started with All in the Family. And nobody got it. They missed it totally. They said, oh, Devon's talking about Norman didn't have... I said, you people have been so dumbed down, like Malcolm said. Some of us, we're going to have to leave behind. You're too brainwashed to understand. That was the important thing I said about it. And they don't even know that. You know, you got this whole feminist movement out here. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. No, but your kids do. Your children do. A broken home. I can't remember the statistic. I think it's like 65% of the people incarcerated in the penal systems are single family. I don't need no man.
So it's just it will be all by design, I'm guessing. They want this, right? I would assume people want this.
Yes.
The system, benefits.
What do you mean, welfare?
Welfare, the patriarch dissolution that you just mentioned.
That's because of the feminist movement, brother.
Okay.
The feminist movement. All of those lesbians back in the day, Gloria Steinem, Black Panther woman that teaches at Stanford University, they were lesbians. The Black Panther Party was a communist organization that was funded by the Rockefellers. That's the number one thing. You got to understand, I came back to the world from the jungle when the Haight-Ashbury, the hippies, I hate to use that cliche, hated the government, everything about the government. They hated Nixon. They wanted to stop that war over there in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And the feminist movement has killed it. And these women walking around here, they're not being taught by their mothers to be wives.
To kind of reflect on your work, you know, because I love to kind of get some records, set some things straight about that.
Okay, that's one thing I wanted to point out that stood out. Let me move it up now. Let me move the interview, of course, in your own time. You can go to Comedy Hype News, Desmond Wilson, and see the whole interview if you would like. But all the fillers and things just to fill in the backdrop, nah, we're getting straight to the points here this evening. Let me go here to 38 minutes. I would say listen to the whole interview when you get an opportunity, but let me go here to about 38 minutes.
That you have is going to be annihilated. You want the short and the long of it? No, I'm not giving you no names.
No.
It's out there. If you do your research, you can find out who it is.
We've covered a couple conversations, but I feel like you'll be the best person for this question right here. Is there a ritual attached to seeing black men in dresses when it comes to, I know it started around Flip Wilson time and probably before then. What's the ritual that's happening?
I told you now, listen, remember what Granddaddy told you when I first sat down here about Norman Lear?
Sure.
The dissolution of the patriarchal system. Now you got all these guys, they take your humanity from you. You know how the feminist movement has categorized men. I think that what was his name? Samuels. He just died recently. Had the podcast that women hated. Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, yes.
Kevin Samuels was eliminated because they didn't want to go back to that. They want these women ignorant and twerking. They want kids running around the street. If they don't pay the income tax, they put them in the penitentiary and they get their money out of them that way. It's like I said, we live in a matrix. Your driver's license, if you take it out of your wallet, has your name in capital letters. Your birth certificate, your passport, name is in capital letters. Black people don't question that. That means that there's two yous. There's you, the person, and you, the corporation. And you, the corporation, is going to pay America. Presidents have no power, and voting doesn't put a man in any office. They're placed there to do a certain job. They have an agenda that they have to adhere to. So running to the polls is not going to matter. They want people like they are right now, polarized. The difference between Biden and Trump is that one is the flip side of the other. And they got the people running back and forth, back and forth. They got all kinds of genocidal things taking place. That Bill Gates said it. We got to do away with 3 billion people. He's been doing it in Africa, been doing it in India. And black people running to the poll talking about, we got to vote in, got to get somebody, get him in there, change everything. It's nothing going to change, and it's not going to go back. When I wrote The New Age Millennium 26 years ago, I spoke about everything that's going on now. Now, you can call me a sage, you can call me a prophet, you can call me Negrodamus, whatever you want to call me, but all of the stuff in the book is everything that's happening now. Black people laughed at me. They said, what Lamont know about that? That's conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy, but it ain't no theory. And now they're scrambling, running back and forth, fighting each other. I said, this is not a gender war. It's not a political war. It is a spiritual warfare. People better wake up. This ain't going back. It ain't going back. No place. It doesn't matter who sits in the Oval Office. Presidents have no power. They can only do what they're told to do. The educational system, I spoke about it before. The Rockefellers bought the educational system at the turn of the century. And they said, we're going to put curriculums in there to teach people how to be minions, servants of us. That's what the whole thing was about. Kids that go to prep school, private prep school, they go to Harvard and Yale and Oxford, don't have the same education that people go to HMCU universities have.
So in conclusion...
Let me finish, brother. The people that go to those illustrious universities come from wealth, and they're being educated to run the world, not work for it. No.
Now, before we go here, Elder Lawya, you think it's a coincidence that the average young black man in the inner cities within the United States read on a 4th grade level? How can anyone call our educational system a success? Who can celebrate degrees and everything else if your boys are reading at a 4th grade level?
Mm-hmm.
He dropped it. He dropped it. Now, there's something else I'm going to pull out in a moment, because something just happened in Brooklyn that I think quantifies everything, Elder Lawya, that we're talking about right now when it comes to scrambling in a nutshell. Right? Let me use that word. And first of all, I have to go back to the to the Talmud in a moment. But before I go there, right, I'm going to put it on hold for 1 second because I got something to show. Something is going on in New York right now. Lord, folks, I've been dealing with this stuff all day. Thank you for hitting the like button. What I'm going to need y'all to do real quick before I play this video, because Lawya and I will view this together, because I need, Elder Lawya, I need your opinion on the brother Damon. And I also going to need your opinion on what we are about to witness with this tunnel that was dug in New York under a synagogue there. Hold tight. We'll be right back. Folks, you don't want to miss it. And like I said, what I think is going on right now is prophecy, even if it's self-fulfilled prophecy on their side when it comes to the Talmud. But it's even greater in the prophecy when it comes to what the Bible said would go down at the very end, where what? That man of sin would be revealed. Hold tight. We'll be right back.
Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book. And the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
Yes, yes, yes. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, brothers and sisters, you are invited. You are invited. Week 2 of your Hebrew and Bible Academy, where we're going into tracing the serpent's seed. We got brand new lessons. And also, you don't have to be there to actually view the academy. If you're busy, it's fine. If you enroll, we'll still send you the link so you can get the key information, because there's prophecies being unveiled the same day as we break things down. You have the Hebrew, you have the news, and I don't want you to miss this. And I don't want you to think just because you're busy Sunday, you have to miss out. Okay, so no. Still enroll. You can watch those lessons anytime between the week while you're working, in between breaks, when you get home. It doesn't matter. Enroll in this academy. You don't want to miss it. And who knows, something big might happen within this, within this 3 months that you'll need to be there. Listen, we've seen scenarios where something happened, unfolded the same day we were in the academy and had to break the news. We couldn't wait till Wednesday. It happened right there. So make sure you join the academy. Go to historytimes.org. Okay? Now, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Something happened in New York, and we have to show, because for some reason, there's a lot of different, I would say, 1 second, let me pull this. Let me make sure I have it here. There's a lot of different news perspectives on this particular thing that happened over in New York, right? But before I go there, let's talk about this. That in the Sanhedrin 97A, okay, we all know that under Judaism, they follow not the Old Testament by itself, but what?
They follow the prophecies through oral tradition of their sages or top rabbis. Okay? Now, I need y'all to look at this before I show what's going on in the news over there in New York. Right? Let's get it here. 1 second. Let's get it. Yeah, right here. Okay. In the Sanhedrin 97a of the Talmud, for those who don't know, Jewish people who are a part of, the synagogue, they do not believe Christ is the Savior. And on top of that, they have their own their own interpretation of prophecy. Even though they use the Old Testament, but they must run the Old Testament through their oral tradition instead of dealing with the Old Testament as it is written like we do. Okay? So let's see what's the prophecies here that we have to really highlight right now. Let me drink some water here. Some good stuff. Right? It says, Sanhedrin 97a. Y'all see that? Sanhedrin 97a. Follow my pointer here. The sages taught a barita. The verses states, for the Lord shall judge his people and atone for his servants. When he sees that their power is gone and there is none shut up or left. Deuteronomy 32 and 36. Folks, Deuteronomy 32 and 36 have nothing to do with what they're talking about here, okay? Make that clear. From the phrase, their power is gone, it is derived from the Son of David will not come until informers will proliferate. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come, speaking of their Messiah, because they don't believe in Christ. Right? I have to make that clear because sometimes Christians and those who believe in Christ in the Bible get confused. If they say Messiah, they expect you to believe it's Christ they're talking about. No, there's only two masters. Either you serve the Most High who sent Christ, which is the God of the Hebrews who sent Christ, or Satan. Okay? I'll let you decide which of the two deals with this particular reference right here, or who's the Lord over those who believe in this. And the Son of David will not come until informers proliferate. Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the number of students of Torah diminishes. So those who are learning Torah, there'll be less and less before this so-called Messiah. Now, mind you, maybe some of this is self-fulfilling. You know, they have to progress some of this so to bring forth who they believe is their Messiah, right? Alternatively, the Messiah will not come until the peruta will cease from the purse. The peruta, folks, is your money. So their Messiah cannot come until you have no more control over your money, until there's no money in your account that you can actually control. Mark of the beast, anyone? I need y'all to check that out. Now, if this is what it's going to take, because I know we'll do everything we could, we're trying to follow God's law, trying to treat our fellow man righteously, right? We're doing everything we can, right, in the waiting of our Messiah. So if they think that this must happen before their Messiah comes, right, think about it. If they believe that you have to be broke and have no control over your money, right, for their Messiah to actually return, what does that say for the future of your money? Right? Think about that. See, the Bible talks about this in the book of Daniel, and it's called what? When the daily sacrifice is taken away. Daily sacrifice is your food. So if you don't have money to be able to purchase, or they'll tell you, well, you can't go into the supermarket and get your food unless you agree to some medical situation or something. And then what are you going to do? Right? So y'all need to understand what people believe. Right? to be able to quantify what's actually happening on the outside of these religious institutions, right? So, hey, if they want their Messiah to come, that means the world must be in a place where every individual don't have any power over the Peruta. They don't expect you to understand what Peruta is. Okay, Peruta is like the lowest denomination of, of money, right? Until there's not 1 cent in your purse, their Messiah can't come. Now, I need y'all to think about that for a second, right? I don't mean to laugh, but that really give us some insight to why things are the way there is today. There's the banks operating differently now, where there's less people in the banks, right? You better do some preparation, right? How now it's less cash when it comes to communicating and sending money and all that, right? Now it's starting to make sense, right? How now if an immigrant come over the border, automatically tens of thousands are given to a person who have nothing to do with the country. So to do what? So to tax, not to tax, but to actually dismantle the treasury. Put so much pressure on the treasury where there'll be no money. And by spending money so fast, superinflation to a degree where what? The cost of all products go up. See, it's part of the prophecy. So some may think that, well, hold up, this is Biden and all this. Listen, I'm going to do it, Biden. This is prophecy. They got to get this going. Whoever get in place have to make sure this happens, all right? Think about that for a second. Now, Elder Lawya, for the main fair use. For the main video, there's something going on over in New York, because it says the students have to diminish, right? Less students when it comes to Torah, right? Now, mind you, I believe in Christ. I believe in the Bible. That's where I stand, okay? But I'm here to make sense of this so people can understand and to fall on the right side of prophecy. Because they're even dismantling their whole zone now. And those who are still under their programming will fall. You'll fall with those who are over the signal. Let me put it that way. If you stay under their signal and programming, you're going to fall with those who control the signal. Okay? It's up to them to throw chaos at you at every turn, so you don't know which way is up. So it's upon you as an individual to pick up your Bible and learn that law that gives you what? That you can begin now a moral foundation according to the word that have always stood the test of time. It's not what your pastor say. It's not what this person say. You look at the laws, and that's your moral foundation. That's what you must stand on now. The laws of God. Okay? Fair use. For educational proof, for educational use only. Elder Lawya, for educational use only. And what I'm going to do here real quick, educational use, right? I'm going to allow them to break down. I believe they covered this story. I'm not even going to give my opinion on it. These are reputable journalists who's just doing their due diligence, right? They're looking into something and they wonder why no one is actually doing something about this. I mean, right? Mm-hmm. Now, of course, we have to be guarded and all that with our conversation. So I'm going to let these people from Redacted, reputable journalists, give their insight to something that was quite bizarre. That's the only word I can use for it. But it still fulfills what we're reading in the Sanhedrin here, in the Talmud, right? About pupils or students diminishing who reads the Torah, right? Fair use.
Jewish tunnels under New
Hold
York
up.
City, then you are winning at life. Well, if you had on your 2024 bingo card hidden Jewish tunnels under New York City, then you are winning at life because you just nailed it. This is really, I have to think, the most bizarre story I've heard in a very long time. But I think it could potentially, we don't know yet, it could really have potentially
Fair use.
really troubling pieces of this story as they come out here. And we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions about this story. First, some context. What you're seeing here, notice the people in the middle of your screen who are hiding there in underground caves in New York City, which have been busted wide open and are now being filled with cement as a result of discovering these really damaging and hidden caverns underneath the city of New York. Late yesterday afternoon, a wild riot broke out inside a New York City synagogue in Brooklyn. Police had to be called in. Why? Look at these secret, I mean, they're coming out of the ground. And a riot breaks out as a result of it. I mean, construction workers showed up. This is when the riot started. So construction workers showed up and started trying to pour cement into these hidden tunnel systems. And that these Orthodox Jewish members had built. It's illegal. And you're not allowed to live underneath. Look at that police officer. He pulled up a taser. He's like, you guys got to get back. They're trying to fight the fact that they're now going to uncover what's perhaps in these tunnels. Is it just people? Is it just they're using it to traverse the area?
I was wondering if it was like, because like, I don't know if you know this, but in a lot of those Jewish communities, they will tie a rope from one house to the other because they're not allowed to leave their house on the Sabbath. But they're thinking as if the rope is attached, it's not technically leaving their house because it's still part of it. So maybe they were trying to attach these tunnels so that it was like it was still connected to their home so they could leave on the Sabbath.
Maybe that's, and if that's what they're saying. Also, the Daily Mail was saying, well, no, they built these tunnels so they could sneak into the synagogue during COVID lockdowns. But that doesn't make any sense because we now know that these tunnels were constructed about 6 months ago. So it has nothing to do with COVID, has nothing to do with lockdowns, trying to sneak into a synagogue because you're that devout. Like that's how the Daily Mail was trying to portray the story. They're so devout that they just built tunnels. They had to get to the synagogue. They had to get there.
It's pretty terrifying when how many stories did we see last year of buildings collapsing,
right?
Apartment buildings collapsing. Like, I don't think that's safe.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's safe either, but we do know, well, I mean, there's so many things we don't know right now. Why were they building these tunnels? The dispute, so, okay, the New York City Police Department was called in because these construction workers showed up. Like, who called the construction workers? That's what I'd like to know. Number one, who called the construction workers to show up in the first place? And were they filling in cement on the streets? Because on the streets, you could actually see some of the caves. You could actually see some of the tunnels from the streets. So is the city like trying to do some routine maintenance when they uncovered this? Like, what the hell is going on here? So then as you make those, yeah, well, we got the videos here.
Videos of people, yeah, of walking on the sidewalks of New York, and you can see holes and see down into what appears to be tunnels.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And then, of course, you see the individuals coming out of the holes in the ground out on the streets under hidden entranceway.
I'm just curious to know, Elder Lawya, and I'm going to finish playing this. I wonder, Elder Lawya, what would be the news and how the news would get covered from mainstream if it was founded that some Israelites digged a tunnel from their church or institution, Elder Lawya, into another building that have some suspicious history behind it.
Right.
I wonder how the mainstream media would cover that. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if one of the so-called Israelite groups or something, and it was found that they was digging a temple, a tunnel underground that connects to some suspicious building? I wonder if they would have been handled like, just to say how we see and how light this is getting handled, so to speak. But I digress.
Right.
I digress. right? But let's see.
I would go as far as to say if
Hold
this
on.
was
Go ahead, Elder Lawyer. I'm sorry.
yeah, I would go as far as to say that if this was even a regular black Sunday morning Christian church with this type of thing going on, there would be I think there would, even in that case, would be a lot of uproar as far as, or at least the reaction would be a little bit more of an uproar, even if it was just a simple Sunday morning black Christian church, let alone Israelites.
I mean, don't you think Homeland Security and everything else would be involved?
Right. Exactly.
Right? This is just a local police here. Right? But I digress. Let me see this.
You get the free daily circular or whatever. So they're sliding them out of the way over a grate that has a hole cut in it, and they're climbing down into the holes. There you go. Look at that. It's an example of one of them. It's hidden behind this like newspaper bin that's there. It's insane. It's really bizarre. And then, so members of the Chabad Lubavitch have been digging tunnels under the synagogue at 770 Eastern Parkway in the Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn, and they've been doing this for many, many months. Now, the website forward.com is coming forward and reporting that it was
Elder Lawyer. Oh, I think listen. I think you are too young to remember the Old Sage Move member scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, we heard about it.
Yeah.
You heard about it. How
Right.
it was Wilson Good, the first black mayor, to show you that our people have always been puppets. It doesn't matter their color. I mean, whether or not they're black, whether or not they're black men or black women. Under Wilson Good, they dropped a bomb on the Move members' house on Old Sage Street because they wanted to live natural with their children in a house that was planned for regentrification about 5-10 years later. So the Move members, they would buy a dollar house. This was way past your time, where if the house, there was a budget, there was a plan in the budget where poor people can buy a dollar house if you're willing to put the money investments into it to actually make it livable. So Move went and they found Osage Street because this was going to be one of the up and coming areas as an extension of the University of Pennsylvania area, the university area. So they started building that thing, and they said, listen, we're naturalists, man. They were teaching their own children. Black people weren't bothering anybody, and guess what? They dropped a bomb on them. Now look at how they dealt with these people who weren't doing anything, and look how they're handling this. Right? I mean, fair use.
To reach an abandoned woman's mikvah or ritual baths.
Okay, hold up now. It's going to say, Elder Lawyer, where the tunnel was leading to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let it play now. Fair use.
Now, the website forward.com is coming forward and reporting
that and let me make it clear. Right? People have the right in America to believe anything they want under the Constitution. It's freedom of religion. So I'm not going against, people can believe what they want, neither can I stop them from doing so. So I'm not against whatever y'all want to believe, that's on you. But I can I can disagree, against individuals' behavior if it's what? If it's sin, regardless of whether or not you follow one religion or the next. If it isn't right, if it isn't legal, right? And that's my angle of looking at this, not whether or not what they're worshiping is true, because they have the right in America to choose any religion they would like. But now, I wanted to say that real quick. Let's see where they were digging the tunnel to.
70 Eastern Parkway in the Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn, and they've been doing this for many, many months. Now, the website forward.com is coming forward and reporting that it was designed to reach an abandoned woman's mikvah or ritual baths.
It was designed they were trying to dig from the synagogue into a woman's ritual bath. And I think this place was closed down, if I can recall. It's an old one. Let's see. A ritual bath. What ritual bath? What is the ritual?
Now, this is according to forward.com. The website said the tunnel had been dug to expand the synagogue, although it was unclear how they would actually do that by expanding the synagogue under the ground. The tunnels were discovered back in December, and then the synagogue's leaders called in a structural engineer then to assess the damage of it. And then the cement mixers arrived to try to fill in these tunnels, and then that's when a lot of these young Orthodox Jewish men reacted, started ripping away the wooden walls. And then when they started ripping away the wooden walls, you started to discover some really troubling things behind the walls. We take a look at some of the, well, as you're seeing the footage here, but what's behind the walls is really bizarre. Like this high chair, like children's high chairs in back in these rooms, these soiled children's mattresses. Oh. A lot of people, so again, we have a lot of questions. We don't know, why are there children's mattresses hidden in these tunnels? Soiled children's mattresses. Why are there children's high chairs in these tunnels? We don't know. We sure would like answers, though, and I hope there's an investigation. Vice News, though, many years ago did an investigation, and this goes back. So when we talk about this, these child rape assembly lines, as the Vice News article had covered this back in 20, let's see the byline on that, 2013, the child rape assembly line.
What? What?
I, at the time, walked in on one of these bathhouses and saw the absolute unbelievable, disgusting, horrible stuff that was happening to these children in the
Elder, you remember when Damon Wilson said, y'all better wake up, this is a spiritual war?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he said, y'all better wake up? So you have to realize when you know, if, you know, not speaking of this in general, but when you are under some type of religious belief or understanding, and you are to some degree losing power, you must up the rituals. You must increase the ceremonies, so to speak. Not to say it could possibly be that here, but I know based on the history of the Babylonian priesthood and others, that when there's certain circumstances where they are, you know, seeking more power or forced to be helped with something, it requires sacrifice. Right? When you look into ancient historical Canaanite rituals and all of that, that's why our God said, stay away from this. So when things start to get exposed, you got to jump all the way in and do what you got to do. If you're on the right side, you pray and you do what's right according to God's law. But if you're on the other side, you got to do what you got to do according to what the masters require. Right? I'm trying to be as guarded as possible. Let's get through this.
And blew the lid on it. And of course, then there was a number of arrests in Brooklyn and a number of arrests throughout New Jersey. So I don't know if you guys remember the corruption and the arrests that happened.
Yeah, I'm going to need my brothers, the bishops and the bishops, deacons, and officers, right? I'm going to need y'all to keep me up to speed. And if you're from New York, one of my brothers over there that's leading things over there, please give us a call and let us know what the conversation is as far as the authorities go. I just need to know what's going on, because it doesn't seem like CNN, Elder Lawya, no one is actually giving us some detailed information. Right now, we're hearing about Cat Williams. Right?
Right.
I mean, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Should not this be viral? Lord.
And of course, then there was a number of arrests in Brooklyn and a number of arrests throughout New Jersey. So I don't know if you guys remember the corruption and the arrests that happened in New Jersey, but it also swept into Brooklyn. So here's a news report from 2009, just to light a fire in your brain. And I don't know that these tunnels now today are in any way related to that. But when you find children's mattresses and you find high chairs, one has to wonder. Here's the news report from 2009. Take a look.
These were arrests on a massive scale. Amongst those taken into custody by the FBI were city mayors, politicians and religious leaders. The authorities needed buses to cope with the sheer scale of the operation.
New Jersey's corruption problem is one of the worst.
Here's the news report from 2009. Take a look.
These were arrests on a massive scale. Amongst those taken into custody by the FBI were city mayors, politicians and religious leaders. The authorities needed buses to cope with the sheer scale of the operation.
Hey, Elder Lawya, you got to think about all of this happening in the midst of the asylum scenario where people are coming from, all undocumented people are coming into these cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, the same place where asylum is, where these undocumented people are coming in, we're seeing this too. I don't know. I'm just connecting the dots here. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point, but could one have something to do with the other? Maybe as the story unfolds, we'll figure this out, right?
Right.
Because it sounds eerily familiar to what he's reporting right here from 2009.
And I don't know that these tunnels now today are in any way related to that. But when you find children's mattresses and you find high chairs, one has to wonder. Here's the news report from 2009. Take a look.
These were arrests on a massive scale. Amongst those taken into custody by the FBI were city mayors, politicians and religious leaders. The authorities needed buses to cope with the sheer scale of the operation.
New Jersey's corruption problem is one of the worst, if not the worst, in the nation. Corruption is not only pervasive, it has become ingrained in New Jersey's political culture.
It's thought that religious charities controlled by prominent rabbis were used to launder cash. The arrests were part of a 10-year operation that uncovered money laundering on an international scale, as well as corruption and the sale of human organs in the US, Switzerland and Israel.
The sale of human organs. The sale of human organs, people. That was a France 24 piece, and I remember it clearly.
Elder Lawya?
Yes, sir.
Genesis 6, when it says, when the sons of men came and dealt with the daughters, when the sons of God dealt with the daughters of men and saw that they were fair, and they brought forth giants, right? And it tell you that it came a time where man could no longer sustain them in Genesis 6, and they began to consume mankind. Think about this. Organ distribution and takedown. That's the consuming of people. This is just like the days of Noah. Yeah, we're at the end of this. And based on what I read in the Talmud, it seems as if this particular event, this is two birds with one stone when it talks about there'll be less people. There'll be less people or less students of Torah before the Messiah. Right? Interesting, isn't it? Interesting take. Prophetically from how they see their Messiah.
This was all over New Jersey news when that happened. The sale of human organs.
You know what one difference about that
the
is?
FBI arrested them for that. Like, this isn't like fantasy. They were arrested as a result of that. And she tags that. I mean, she's talking about money laundering, the other thing, and the sale of children's human organs. Go ahead, David.
Elder Lawya.
I was just going to
Yes, sir.
We done went from the sale of human organs and all this because he's going back to the past concerning a story that was swept under the rugs years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But then, even from the beginning of this, right? From the beginning of this, selling of organs and all that is ritualistic. Then we started off with this.
Gordon, I mentioned the number of apprehensions at the southern border of Chinese nationals. Over the last year, it is up 1,300%. Do you think these people are running from the Communist Party, or are they being directed to come and stay in America until further word?
Both. First of all, we're seeing desperate middle-class Chinese. These are generally not poor people because they can afford to pay $35,000 a head to the Mexican cartels to bring them in. But among them are packs of males of between 5 and 15 who are of military age, not coming with family groups, pretending not to speak English, and engaging in Chinese military rituals like drinking blood. A border section patrol chief said that some of them are known to have Chinese military affiliations. So clearly these are saboteurs coming into America to wage war on the United States on the first day that there is war in Asia.
Now remember, Elder Lawya, drinking blood and Chinese rituals. What's going on here? Spiritual warfare. And remember we were talking about it during the so-called virus, how there was a news report about the super soldiers they were making or creating in China and or Russia that can possibly, allegedly be let loose on society. You think this is all a coincidence at this point? Fair use.
One difference of that time right there, we had real journalists back then. We had real journalists exposing that kind of stuff. Could you imagine that probably wouldn't happen today if that was going on?
No, and even actually,
it probably is.
Actually, CNN separately did a report on what was happening specifically on the Brooklyn piece of this. Again, this is where the tunnels were discovered. This is where the tunnels were discovered. And so it's a very insular community there. So to get like outside reporting in here is very, very difficult in this community. But CNN, this again, a report from that exact same time talking about this corruption and what was going on in these bathhouses. Listen.
In this Brooklyn enclave, strict rules dictate just about everything the men and women of this Hasidic Jewish community do. It is home to a sect called the Satmars, who are known for being closed off to outsiders. That's why the conviction of a respected member, 54-year-old Nehemiah Weberman, is seen as so significant among sex abuse victims. He was accused of sexually abusing a young girl for over 3 years and was found guilty on 59 counts against him.
I look at this as a new era for the Jewish religious community.
Weberman was hired as a counselor by the girl's parents when she began challenging strict Satmar rules at the age of 12. He denied any abuse. His support from the community was so strong, a fundraiser was held for him that was met with protests. The Brooklyn district attorney charged 4 men in June with trying to bribe the victim, who is now 18, to keep quiet with $500,000. They've pled not guilty. The district attorney praised the woman for her courage in coming forward. This trial also went beyond sex abuse allegations, and it exposed practices of an insular community known for its secrecy. And among them is the use of so-called modesty councils.
It's just kind of common knowledge in the community that these squads exist. You hear about them from when you're very little. They're touted as a means to get people to behave, like you better behave or the Vad Hatznius will come after you. So we all know that they're there. In fact, they almost attain a sort of mystique and just sort of communal fear.
26-year-old Deborah Feldman grew up in the Satmar community, but broke out as a young adult and wrote the book Unorthodox, a memoir about growing up in Williamsburg.
Ostensibly, what modesty squads are looking for is forbidden music, forbidden books, forbidden magazines, forbidden internet access devices like computers or smartphones. They're looking maybe for love letters or for photographs.
Feldman hopes the verdict will prompt others to speak out about abuse without fear of retaliation. Others in the community remain convinced Weberman is not guilty, and his lawyer plans to appeal.
So again, What's the connection here? There's a long history in this community of this type of abuse. And then when you see soiled children's mattresses and high chairs in these tunnels, and you have a history of this type of abuse and neglect, we would like to know more about it. That's what we're asking here. So hopefully we will get some answers. And now with these 11 arrests of these individuals who were in these tunnels in New York City, hidden in these tunnels, and they were arrested by the NYPD, maybe we will learn something about it. We hope.
Yes. Has it occurred to you to ask this question? Why now do we get this story when the Hasidic community is being so vocal against the anti-Zionist movement, or they are anti-Zionist? So is it convenient timing that they are anti-Zionists and we get this now, right? I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we don't have the answers. I think, there's no coincidences, right? There's absolutely no coincidences at all. And so it's interesting. I mean, we know we know this community, and we know what has happened here with sexual abuse and the sale of organs. And, you can look it up on the FBI's freaking website and see what has happened here with these individuals. So I don't know. Philip, go ahead.
Well, it's something that Lion Nation said yesterday when he was on the show that really stuck with me, and that was if you're seeing it, if you have the documents, if you have the evidence, it's because they want you to. And so it's like, looking at it in that lens, that's a really good question. Really, why do we know this? Why?
And specifically and why now, when there's a growing anti-Zionist movement and the Hasidic Jews are a large part of it, why are we getting this now?
It is interesting. It is also, we should point out, we don't know what has happened in those tunnels. There's we have images of baby high chairs, and we have soiled children's mattresses. But do we know anything beyond that? We don't. We don't know. We don't. And so hopefully we'll get some answers, and it'll be interesting to answer that question. And then actually what's going on with these tunnels. Very interesting. Let us know what you think about this in the comments below.
Well,
thank you so much for watching this segment here.
Well, hopefully some answers come of this. But I can let you know prophetically what's going on, how chaos is ensuing throughout the earth intentionally. And this is where we are right now. Like I mentioned earlier, Elder Lawya, that once the evil begin to get exposed and the majority of the eyes begin to look one way, and you can no longer hide your intent, especially against our people, you must throw everything on the path during the getaway. But the reality of this, if you're doing evil, it doesn't matter what you think and what group you belong to, there is no getaway. But what should we, as believers in Christ, take from all of this? Okay? Don't forget, for too long, we've been influenced against our own moral code. We've allowed what? We've allowed television, media, social media to become the spiritual pulpit for morality, and look where we are. Now that those who are, to some degree, been in position over the signal can no longer hold things together. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do? Okay, the reality is we as a people have been exposed and are ripe for destruction, and now the gates are opening up for the Satanists to come in to mop the whole thing up in our communities who are ripe for a judgment. That's where it is right now, right? And I want to read one thing before I'm going to open it up and open up some phone calls. All right. And I broke it down. For those who missed it, y'all can view the whole thing. But we went into Damon Wilson, who was Lamont from Sanford & Son, who had a serious interview on Comedy Hype, stating that he said years ago all of this would happen, that there was a guy by the name of, let me get his name again, he's right here.
Elder Lawya, by Norman Lear, who's responsible for the irresponsible, evil programming that led to the degradation and the demoralization of family through programming. Okay, him right here. This is the guy that was behind Good Times, right? Sanford and Son, Married with Children, everything that would break the nuclear family, right? And then now he celebrated remembering Norman Lear and his pioneering LGBTQ inclusive shows. Folks, we didn't see dumbing down a man and having children smarter than the father as a part of LGBTQ. But it is, because it's a role reversal before the world. See, it was subtle at that time. And this is the guy that Damon Wilson knew personally, who had a personal hand and totally disrupted the world in of itself with this satanic signal of demoralization and the disrespect of men, and propagating and propping up women, knowing it would lead to the downfall of Babylon all of itself when it comes to community, nuclear family. I don't want to hear anyone out there celebrating a degree or education when the boys in the neighborhood read at a 5th grade level. And that being man or woman. Okay? Man or woman. There's nothing we can say about how education have benefited us if our children, men in particular, the boys, are only good enough to steal and be used for the prison industrial complex. All right? There he is right there. When y'all get a chance, there's so much to really digest in this particular broadcast, but it took me hours to put it together. Thank you for all your support and what y'all do to support the church. Elder Lawya, I need, but we live in prophecy right here. Let's go straight, Elder Lawya, to where in Thessalonians, where it says at the very end, that man of sin would be revealed.
Yes, sir. This is 2 Thessalonians 2, verse number 3.
Okay, let's get it. I'm going to get it with you. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. And I'm going to put something out there for all of you out there who's listening tonight. The fact that, and I keep on going back to 2nd Baruch to say the Most High told us years ago, 500 years before Christ was born, the prophecies were already in play concerning this time. Okay, exactly. Even the mindset of the people who develop within themselves their own moral code. That means you have individuals who has a definition of right according to their own heart. You're going to be destroyed with that. Your heart and your moral line doesn't matter if it doesn't line up with God's. Chapter and verse, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3.
Yeah, let's read it. I'm there.
Yes, sir. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
So even Paul wrote in the epistles that day, which is the redemption of our people, will not come first. What will not come? That day is not going to come, which means the coming of our Messiah. Until what? There must be a falling away first. And that's not a great apostasy like they're talking about in the church. That's talking about what? This was predicting the fall of Jerusalem, 70 AD. The falling is prophetic. Okay, when even Christ said what? That when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee into the wilderness. For it's a day of vengeance. When the Romans came against our people in 70 AD,
is the falling away. It's no great apostasy. The falling away was a historical scenario in which the Edomites, Rome, Vespasian and Titus in 70 AD took down our original homeland, Jerusalem. And it says, and that man of sin be revealed. So Christ is not going to come unless we understand who's really controlling the levers and strings of these puppets. I believe, as of what we were talking about, not just for the last year leading up to this broadcast, and even to what's being exposed now, that the man of sin is beginning to be revealed unquestionably, without question, right? So now this is telling us, brothers and sisters, how close the redemption is. That even the most sacred or the protected within our society politically is vulnerable. The Most High is shining a light on everything. And it says, must be revealed that son of perdition. The fourth verse.
Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Sitting in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That's right, folks. When you look into the Balfour Agreement, the Balfour Agreement, when it came to the first two world wars, World War I, World War II, where Britain promised what? Promised Palestine out of the war, which was more what you would call a diplomatic UN decision amongst the world's elite than it was prophecy. So they would be sitting in the temple of God, showing themselves that they are God. Right? So it says Christ isn't going to come yet until all of this comes in the full view for those who are truly waiting for Christ. You'll understand how close we are and begin to prepare our souls for not just the awakening, but the second coming. This is way bigger than all the characters on earth playing their part right now. They've been allowed to do what they have done. And now the light has been turned on. Right? And what did Paul say in the 5th verse? Read it.
Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things.
Read.
And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
Now, some people think that this is talking about someone antichrist, but Paul is going to make it clear, if you're looking that way, you're deceived too. Why? Read the 7th verse.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
The people I'm talking about are already working right now, Paul said. So don't be looking for some one guy to pop up as an antichrist so that they can just pull out a boogeyman to distract you prophetically like the Christian churches has done. There is no one man. That was a whole empire that took us down. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work, but they hid themselves amongst us. See? Read.
Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
So the Most High allowed them to operate until what? Until they be taken out of the way. And time is up. Time is up. And let me say this. Some people would say, well, if there's a God, why would he allow this to happen? People to do such evil. Folks, you have to understand. The serpent presented the tree of good and evil. It was upon Adam and Eve on whether or not they should do what? Abstain or partake. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the people who's under the Kabbalah, which links directly to the tree of good and evil, they're not forcing anybody to do anything. They're just offering the fruit. So don't try to blame God for you choosing the signal or the fruit when you knew better. There wasn't a time where any of us chose to do anything wrong
that our conscience didn't what? Warn us. That's the Holy Spirit. So all of that stuff where even atheists and others are looking and saying, yeah, what type of God is that? If these people are doing evil, why would God allow it? Well, it's the tree. It's the tree. It was there in the beginning. And guess what? It was made out of straight vitriol and evil against God. And God didn't create that tree. In the Genesis, the first chapter, it said that everything the Most High made was good. He saw that it was good, even the vegetation, trees, and all that. Samael, Satan himself, okay, who went from seraphim to cherubim. Seraphim is another Hebrew word, when you look into it, for serpent. He spliced the poisons using the Most High's creation, because why? Satan cannot create nothing in of himself. He must use what's already in the earth. So what people look at it, yeah, what type of people follow talking about a talking snake? Because they believe Christians and those who believe in the Bible are stupid. They don't believe you look in the Hebrew when serpent comes from seraph. Seraphim is an order of the angel, the angelic hierarchy. Under the Most High, Christ, the Holy Spirit, you have the seraphim, then the cherubim. Lucifer, he fell. Seraph, cherub, then to the darkness. So when you see that seraph there, or serpent, it's speaking of an angelic force whom the world today call aliens, but are really who? They're really the masters over the governments of this earth, who are running the puppets who rule in this earth. Let's talk about it. So now the Most High is revealing everything, and it's up to you to stand on the right side of judgment. You can't say, and I hear people saying this also, Elder Lawya, well, no one told me this. I was told to do this. I thought what I was doing was right. All of that. We were all told lies. But now what? Are we going to use the fact that we were taught wrong to stay wrong? We're going to use that as an excuse to stay wrong, or like I said earlier, stand on the right side of judgment. I need those brothers in Brooklyn and New York. I'm going to need some reports, because we're going to need to do another follow-up, right? Probably in the academy, where we can go a little bit more in depth when it comes to conversation, and put clips here because I don't want to violate someone's personal, whatever the case is, and I don't want to violate any rules, but still, a lot of this stuff, we need to talk about this, because everyone talking about Cat Williams, Elder Lawya, and I love what Cat Williams did, but I think this should be gaining that much of attention, if not more, right? So that man of sin is being revealed. What you going to do? What are we going to do? Because according to Paul's prophecy, the Messiah is close. And this is why they're throwing everything at it now. Satanic armies drinking blood. They're not even, usually, Elder Lawya, when people were doing things like that, they would hide information like that from Fox broadcast. And say, yeah, we got some weird people coming over the borders and all that. They're going into Chinese blood-drinking ritual soldiers that are being protected by the Mexican cartel coming over the borders. Are you kidding me? This is a holy war. This is a spiritual war, right? Brothers and sisters, while you still have, have some finances, make sure you don't have to have a lot of money. Start doing some preparation. Okay, make sure you get yourself some dry grain, rice, beans, a way to clean water, extra barrels of water. Have a plan if you have to go from one place, who to link in with if you have to go from one place to the next, and vice versa. Okay, I'm going to put that out there. And in the academy, we have what? We have the preparation segment of our academy for the full 12 weeks. So if you want some preparation tips, get in that academy. Go to historytimes.org.
Elder Lawya, but I was going to read Baruch real quick, but what say you? Is there something you wanted to say?
No, sir. We can go straight into Baruch.
Okay. I'm just going to go over this because I like to highlight the fact that we've been talking about this for a while. And how many times during the so-called pandemic time when stuff shut down, I went over this scripture in Baruch? Many. And he answered. Let me put it here so I can do this right here. And he answered and said to me, I'm in 2 Baruch, the 27th chapter. Right? Hold on. Right here. And he answered and said unto me, into 12 parts is that time divided, and each of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it. In the first part there shall be beginning of commotions. When you see people protesting and hollering and all this old other stuff in front of people, causing commotions and riots, like your Marxists, like that fraud thing that happened in that South Carolina church yesterday when Biden went to visit the church, when people were screaming 4 more years and all this other stuff and free Palestine stuff, this staged mess, allegedly, probably. These are the commotions the Bible is talking about, distractions. And in the second part, there shall be a slaying of the great ones. That means coming after people. And in the third part, the fall of many by death. You notice what happened when they said, yeah, there's a cold outside. Make sure you do what you got to do. And now we're seeing people die in number in the earth right now. And in the fourth part, sending of the sword. That means sending people to war. Like we're hearing, they're drumming up war right now. Palestine, Israel, Iran. There's talks about that. Right? And this was written about 500 years before Christ came on the earth. Right? And the fifth part, famine. Okay. That means a lack of bread and withholding of rain, weather warfare. And the sixth part, earthquakes. We're going to hear about that, especially when people are digging in the ground for what bunkers and things we're seeing right now. And also fracking in the earth is causing earthquakes, right? And terrorists. And in the eighth part, a multitude of specters and an attacks of the Shadim, which is what? You got it. Demonic possession. People losing their mind, controlled by demons and spirits. Why? Living immoral. Riddled with demons now. Right? Attacks of the specters in the Shadim. Right? And in the ninth part, the fall of fire, like we just seen over there in Maui and different parts of Africa, Canada. And in the 10th part, rapine and much oppression, putting oppression on people where now money's not going to come that easy anymore. The benefits that our people used to get are getting cut off. Okay. Usually if you're going to get housing or something like that now, you must identify as LGBTQ. If you try to get in a place, guess what? If you're not a migrant, they're going to choose the migrant over the people who actually paid taxes and built the country. Oppression and rapine, everything. We're talking about thousands of years. Let me tell you, playing what? This is playing out as if the Most High showed Baruch the prophet this yesterday. Right? Now, this is where we are. Oppression. And altogether of all those things aforesaid, it says the 11th part, there shall be what? Wickedness and unchastity. Right? Oh yeah, I'm free to exercise my freedom while losing your soul. Wickedness and unchastity, where what? Everything's easy now. Where some would celebrate just giving their body to any man, many men. Right? And then on the other flip side, the getting is so, it's so fluid
that everybody is just flicking their phone and finding a partner almost on a daily basis without any connection outside of what? Flesh. And in the 12th part, here's the one that's worse than all of them. Confusion. Confusion. That's the one that's worse than all of them. Confusion from the mingling together of all those things aforesaid. Today is going to be one issue. The next day is going to be a different issue, to a point where people are just going to throw up their hands and give up and saying, this is too much. Life is too much. There is no answers, right? Confusion, right? And then it says what? Let me get here. It says confusion from the mingling together of all those things aforesaid. For these parts of time are reserved for the time we're living in now, folks, and shall be mingled one with another, minister one to another, for some shall leave out some of their own, and others shall receive in its stead. Right? And at the end of the day, it's talking about the last Jubilee, the last 50 years before the consummation. Baruch, the 27th chapter. We are close. We are close. And what's deep, Elder Lawyer, what's going to happen when the grid go down? We have some time. But I believe, right? I believe, Elder Lawyer, let me put you up here. I believe that based on the fact that our people see exactly what's going on in the world is coming together against a unified evil, I believe the elite is priming the world for another event. That's the only way, that's the only way they can slow up this unification of people in the earth against now what we can recognize as what? As the man of sin.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest distraction is an event. Be it a war, especially with election time coming, because no one is buying what they're selling anymore. The only way that they can even think about, now think about this, Elder Lawyer, open up the borders, all these people strategically doing the same thing they did during the time when the lockdowns happened. In all the major cities where there was riots, there were tent cities with all these people who looked like derelicts and all of that in that city at that time now was able to vote and impact the election. And now, what we see now, migrants being conveniently moved all over the United States in numbers for key cities, knowing that we're moving into an election year, and the citizens of the United States, especially our people in particular, aren't going for the kind anymore. And if there's a finesse on this particular election, look for the union to split in half. Listen to what I'm saying. And then on top of that, because there's no way, now either side is working on the side of darkness, but there's no way, no one is voting for the person who's in position right now. So if there's something happens where they try to finesse this next election, look for the United States to split in two, and look for secessions to happen from major states to help dissolve America. And at the same time, especially for Elder Lawyer, what happened when our people began to gain some understanding of unity in the 60s? What did they do to thwart our unity? The Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
They needed an event to slow up that unity that was going on with us from the 60s onward. Now imagine this. They sent all of our strong men to war and then put this dude Lear, this Satanist, in position to begin to erode at the family through the signal, through the Hollywood signal. Control and destroy. What say you, Elder Lawyer? You good, or you ready for us to? That concludes our broadcast. What say you? I do have Zoom up in case we want to talk about that or need to access that if necessary. But in the meantime, let's go. Elder Lawyer, if you may, I'm going to call you right back. All right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the calls. 515-605-9327. The lines will be open for 30 minutes. What say you? Be careful on how you speak because we're not here to personally say anything against anyone. We have rules here, and you know how it is when it comes to these guidelines. So make sure we talk with wisdom concerning this particular topic. All right? 515-605-9327. I'll call you right back, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
And I want to see you all in that academy, folks. We need to get those numbers up in that academy. We need your support. HistoryTimes.org. And you don't have to be there to attend. You can look at the classes, the news, the Hebrew at any time during the week, okay? 1 second.
Welcome to Blog Talk. As you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now. Your show will go
Christ
live
is on his
in
way
5
back,
seconds.
folks.
4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm Elder Rawchaa. Tomorrow around, I want to actually premiere Bye Bye. So I may wait a few more days to premiere Bye Bye. I'll let you all know, but I'll be releasing the song Bye Bye. It's speaking of the future Babylonian bounce. We filmed that from the last tabernacle, not the last one, but the tabernacle before last. And we will soon release that. And if you want to download, you can go to Royalty Music by Shepherd.com and download that particular MP3, the wave, for your own listening pleasure, okay? Bye-bye. We're going to premiere that soon enough, okay? We'll be premiering that quite soon, all right? Hold on. Let's see. Settings. All right. All right, let's get the calls in. Let me connect here to. Okay, we're connected to Rhodes. All right. Great. All right, let me bring Elder Lawya in. Don't want to forget him this time. All right. Add participants. And again, let's not talk about people's personal ethnicity and anything like that. If you want to make an opinion, make sure we're general in discussing this. All right. All right, let me add Elder Lawya. Lawya, you there? Lawya, you there? Okay, you back, Elder Lawya?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right, let's go. Elder Lawya's back. All right. We have 803 area code. Shalom.
Hi, brother brother, Elder Rawchaa. How you been?
I'm doing well, Hakeem. How are you?
Oh man, I'm just struggling, man. Yeah, I see what's going on, man, but it's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, man. Like a lot of bad stuff happening, man. And I just wanted to say, and I just wanted to make this fast, man. Yeah, I'm still struggling, man.
When you say you're
And
struggling,
I'm trying to
you have to give me
find a.
detail. What you mean you're struggling? How? What? What you mean?
Okay, well, sir, I'm just struggling. Like, I just wanted to say this that, man, like, I done applied to some jobs, like 18 jobs, and I was calling them, and
Okay, so you're saying
I was
financially. Financially, you're struggling.
supposed, yeah, and like I have a lot of bills, like,
Okay.
and I'm just trying to pay it off, man. But
Well,
I don't have any support, man,
I
and
understand.
my family is just like turning against me, and I have a bad speech impediment, and it's only getting worse, and I don't have anybody to support
Well,
me, man, and I
well,
be
well,
so
well. Hold,
lonely,
hold
man,
up, hold up.
and
Slow up, Hakeem. Slow up. Relax. Slow up. I wanted to actually congratulate you with how well your speech is now. I just wanted to first of all to say I don't know. I mean, I've been praying for you and I prayed with you, but but I can say your communication skills have went up exponentially, brother. You should be proud. Don't even think about your speech impediment. I've never heard you speak so clear. So that's first and foremost, and that's me being on the other side, seeing your progress. So hearing your progress. So this is what I'm going to do, brother. I'm going to take down your phone number. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow, and I'm going to see whether or not there's something the church could do to help you out. I can't say that we can fix all your problems, but at least we can try to help with something. So, all right. So let me write your number
I
down.
understand, sir, but sorry.
Yeah, take it. Relax, brother.
I just,
You don't gotta
I just,
rush. Let me do what I'm doing first, and then I'm
I
gonna
just,
let you have the last word.
okay.
All right. What say you, brother?
I just wanted to like make it fast, man, because like my mom, right? Every time I be like trying to talk to her, I ain't want to talk about it over the line because she would get very, very upset.
What
But
you mean
like,
talk to her about
and just
what,
being
Hakeem?
in on her. Well, like I be trying to talk to her like about certain things about like moving out and stuff like that, and like I'm on like Social Security, and the thing about it is
Well,
they
listen,
ain't gonna allow
Hakeem.
allow me to work
Hakeem,
full
all due
time.
respect to you.
And
There's Hakeem, there's personal
okay,
conversation
sorry.
and there's topic conversation. Let me call you tomorrow and we'll deal on the personal level,
I
okay?
understand,
I don't
sir.
want you putting your business out there like that. That ain't what this broadcast is for. It's good to hear you
Oh,
doing well,
oh,
but don't worry about it. Let's leave this for a private
I ain't mean to
conversation.
call. I ain't mean to call.
No, it's fine. I'll call you,
Okay,
okay?
I didn't mean to call, sir. I didn't mean to call.
Brother, no. I'm not saying you are wrong for calling. I'm saying there's a time and place for all things. You told me you need help. You told me what the issues are. But the struggles with you and your mother, let's move in the broadcast someplace else. I would need to speak to you privately. You're giving me a private conversation. All right, let me call you tomorrow, okay? Thank you, my brother. All right, 340 area code.
Hello.
Hey, where you been at, Sunshine?
Hello. Hi. Oh, Elder, hello.
Yes,
Hi.
I'm here. The floor is yours.
Yes, hi. Wow.
Let's go. Let's go, Sunshine. I got to get through these. Come on.
Okay. Okay, so, okay, wow. Elder, no one gets away when anything is done in the darkness, and especially against Israel in time. Light will shine on that same darkness, and it has been high time that we have awakened out of sleep. But now that we have awakened, the mirage of a world that we thought we knew is folding in on itself, and no one gets away, regardless of who feels they're great, and in their thoughts, no one can make them whittle or bring them down. Prophecy reveals to us that the will of the Most High will be done, and those with eyes to see are reassured when prophecy is seen clearly before our eyes that the word is real, and these and there is no need to fear these man or Satan. Everything is essentially busted open. There's no more cover, nowhere to run or hide. And because the bottom of the bucket is falling out from under this Babylonian kingdom, it's no holds barred. Every soul is working, or who has been working, the Psalms 83 conspiracy, trickery, usury, and all matters of wickedness cannot or care not to cover themselves as they did before. And knowing that the people are tossed to and fro with every wind of foul or vile thing, but just all I want to say is by grace, not the righteous who are not fooled, because they who deceive themselves or who have for years practiced deception or needing of smooth speeches and hypocrisy of their actions will never be able to uproot the very elect from the free will choice to serve Christ and keep the faith. So the elect all during this worldwide confusion and troubles coming that must come to pass, as Christ said, is feeling reassured and comforted, because we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that those beautiful promises that we learned about through the Word are here. And so that's all I wanted to say, Elder. All praise be to the Most High.
Did you write all that down? Did you write that down?
All praise be to the Most High.
Sunshine, did you write that down?
Praise, oh bless you, Elder. Yes, Elder.
Good for you.
Yes, I am.
I'll see you soon. Bless you soon. Bless you. There's Sunshine. 901. A lot of people are asking where's Sunshine. You know, she came from the shadows. She had to show, forth, let you know she's still kicking out there. Thank you, Sunshine. You always quantify the whole broadcast. Thank you for all your support and your perspective. 901 area code.
Shalom.
Shalom. How are you?
I'm well. I'm so excited to talk to you as always and to tell you just how life-changing the Academy is. We've been in it for a whole year now, and
thank you.
We don't know life without the Academy. We don't know life without the Academy, and we just look forward to it like little kids at Christmas, when we used to celebrate Christmas.
Listen, sister, I was excited about it too. I couldn't wait. I mean, it's fun. Isn't it fun? The Academy. I mean, you never thought learning the Bible could be so exciting, right?
So fun. That's right. I tell you, I've learned more, and I've always been a lover of the Bible. But I tell you, I feel like a giant expert when it comes to the things now, because it just makes so much more sense. And I just have you guys to thank for that.
Oh,
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad to be in you all's just in your circle, just being able to glean from y'all every week. We just love it. But I was calling specifically. Yeah. We were really looking forward to participating in the High Holy Days. We are kind of transitioning out of the church where we were very active, but we wanted to be baptized, and the correspondence hasn't been very good. And so we didn't want to drive to Atlanta only to find out that we may have needed to stay an extra day because we needed to take a class or something before the baptism or whatever, because we want to qualify for Passover.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how what we could do differently. But we've made several attempts to call the church in
Okay,
Atlanta.
well, don't
So-
worry about
so
it.
that's probably the closest.
Don't worry about it. I'll handle this personally. Let me have your name again.
I'm Nicole Johnson.
I'm sorry, Nicole.
And I'm Ellie. And this is for my husband and my daughter. We want to take that drive, and we've been putting it off, just kind of waiting to hear from you, from
Okay.
the people. And
Well, don't worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a personal phone call and connect you all, and so that you can get your baptism done well before the Passover. Okay. I mean, if I have to make a few exceptions so that to make sure that you can still go through some of the classes, but you want to be baptized, that has to happen, right? But what we do with the classes is to make sure, because sometimes people get baptized without understanding the full doctrine, and then they get mad at me because they didn't understand something, or go against the church when when I'm like, listen. You asked us to baptize you. It's upon you to understand the full doctrine of what you're being baptized under. And this is why we established the classes, so that there's something that you can add. If you have any, if you have any questions or hangups or doctrinal issues, that's the place to actually, work it out to get that understanding before making this leap. Because this leap is forever for me. And if I wasn't sure about this doctrine, I wouldn't be here. So I wanted to make sure y'all understand. It's not that baptism is a prerequisite for, learning a class is a prerequisite for baptism. Just that we want to make sure that you get the full understanding of what the truth is about and what Christ has laid out according to the requirements within the doctrine. Right? So, but anyway, you've called me more than once. You have my word that I'm going to have a conversation early tomorrow with Baruch and get you and your family there as soon as possible. All right.
Okay. And can I say quickly regarding the subject matter?
Sure.
Can you tell me the difference between an Edomite and an Amalekite? Because if the people that are in Rome are Edomites, you have Amalekites.
Okay. Here's the difference, right? You have a faction of Nephilim who were a part of the Canaanites, who were also Amalekites, right? So you have the Nephilim seed amongst the Philistines and others that were Amalekites, that weren't from the seed of Esau. And then you have the sons of Amalek, the son of Amalek, which was one of the offsprings of Esau. And his bloodline became Amalek according to the Edomite line. Right? So you got that?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. That was. Oh, okay. So the people in Rome are not necessarily. I know that Amalek is Esau's grandson, so they're not.
Well, you can't say all of Rome in particular, because Rome is really what you would call a united scenario that includes many countries. Rome is the 10 horns, all inclusive, including their hub is Italy, right? So when you talk about Esau or Edomites, there's many families. There's 12 separate families. The Bible points out Amalek in particular because Amalek was the child of Esau who decided to come against us, our women, children, being cowards, and the elderly in the back of the caravan during the Exodus. So that's why the Most High say, remember him. Right. But there's different factions. And a matter of fact, what I'll do in this academy, week 4, who's Edom, I'll make sure I make a distinction with a chart so you can know the distinction between who's who. But a lot have happened. You have to realize a lot has happened throughout history when it comes to that, because you have to realize in Rome itself, Rome itself was made out of many people eventually. The same way you see America today, like when Hannibal, Denzel is about to play Hannibal, okay, in a movie to come too. That's going to be super bad. But he's getting a lot of pushback for playing Hannibal. I'm just digressing real quick.
Yeah.
But now we're pushing back. Was like, well, come on, man. You know Hannibal was a black man, right? So when you look at some of the Sicilians and all that, a lot of them were offspring of our people being Israelites who came over and gave Rome that business. Okay, so again, I can show you the families of Edomites according to their bloodline, and what they've done now, if they've moved themselves out of regular population and they've become overlords and separated themselves from the rest of the population of Esau, like your royal family, right? Like your royal families did.
Right.
So the whole thing is you just can't look at a geography and say, okay, these people are Edomites. You got to understand that there was a melting pot there and how the elite were able to separate themselves even through incest to make sure they keep their families intact. And that's what I'm going to concentrate on the academy, to show you those bloodline of families and the corporations they rule over today. All right. So they've separated themselves. So, all right.
So Edomite is more of a general term, and Amalekites are more specifically one group.
Exactly. You have to realize the pure blood Edomites are the elite families. All right. When it comes to poor whites and all that, believe it or not, when it comes to the poor the poor whites who come from Ireland and different places like that, the elite families look down on them because they think that possibly, the one drop rule happened, being that our people ruled England, France, Great Britain. We were ruling during the Dark Ages. So usually when you see the poor whites come over, they look down on those, right? And that's why they throw them, right in the ditch with the rest of those. They loathe or can't stand like our people, because they fear that the blood of Israel may be amongst some of the ghetto or the low of their own people. That's why I say be careful. I tell brothers and sisters, be careful not to judge strictly from the outward appearance, like Paul said, because the elite have went through great measures to separate themselves even from poor whites. Okay, so I'm gonna break that down more so in the academy. Okay, week 4. Okay,
great, because I you really answered questions. Thank you. That is great. I appreciate that.
All right.
All right. See you Sunday in the academy.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that. Each time we go into a lesson is not the same. I try to handle it and say, what haven't I taught in this particular lesson that can bring it, give it a whole new level of understanding from a higher perspective. So that's what we do. Even though the lessons are titled the same, I'm gonna tell you. This time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put forth the families of Esau that was separated, that King James pointed out. And I'm gonna tell you, it's super bad how I'm gonna do this one, because I'm gonna start from the perspective of King James identifying all of Edom and show the family lines and how those family lines link to the elite powers who are in power today. So wait till you see that.
It's gonna be juicy.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and again, thank you, sister.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah, and I say be careful because, again, not all Jewish people are Amalek, right? Because why? What happened was when they opened up Israel, they opened the borders up to all of Eastern Europe in different parts so that they can populate in numbers, right? And that had really nothing to do with whether or not you were of the Jewish faith. It was more so the numbers of the European citizens that can actually, in numbers be made a state within the Middle East. So a lot of people will say, oh, you Jewish, you Amalek. It's not that simple. Okay. Again, Esau
the top of Amalek. You would more so look at the presidents and people that are high diplomats and those who are in control more so than just the citizens. Okay. HistoryTimes.org. We're gonna dive into that. We're gonna dive into that week 4. Okay. 732 area code.
How you doing, Elder?
I'm blessed by the Almighty. All praises be to the Most High. Thanks for asking. Your name and location, sir.
It's Lamont. I'm from Jersey Shore, and it was what you said was point on earlier. Like, I'm seeing an invasion of people coming back. They have certain communities where I live at, where these people are starting to flee and they're coming back, and it's becoming overloaded.
When you say they're coming back, who's coming back?
In general, these people that are in some kind of turmoil in wartime, those people are coming back here. They have certain rights and citizenships. They're coming back in droves.
Okay, are you talking about the tribes of Israel that were colonized?
No. The people that are at war now with a certain other people. I don't want to be, it's just not the migrants. They're coming back, and they have, can I say dual citizenship?
Okay, just speak general. If speak general to what you're talking about, give me a name of what you're talking about, and if I feel that it's
going on there,
who are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect it. So these people, the people that are at war over there, Palestine and
you
Israel,
talking about the Jewish
Israelis
Palestine conflict, the people that are between that conflict?
Yes.
Well, you can speak in general of the group as long as you're not saying anything negative about them.
I didn't want to be disrespectful. They're coming back here in droves.
Oh, you're saying you noticed that a lot of Jewish people that was in the Middle East are now coming into the country in the United States. Yeah, I've noticed that too.
They are coming in droves.
See, but that also falls into the prophecy. Hold up. That also falls into the prophecy of getting out of there before the war happens. Because once they do that war over in Iran, that 6 million is what we're going to see in the war to come. So a lot of them understand they've been given the memo to start moving out before the war happens. And who knows, they may do a strike before the election, which would make it where you can't change a president midstream through a war. So keep your eye on that too. But go ahead. I'm going to be quiet. Do your thing.
The thing was, it's what you were saying, as far as what you said earlier, and it ties into it around this area of Jersey.
Yeah.
These were the same people that, we as African Americans were being blamed for we're abusing the system and all this type of stuff. They just had 3 years ago where they got caught in a scandal and you heard nothing. They took
let me say this, because I don't want to talk about no scandals and anything like that. You notice that when listen. You notice when the reporter started speaking, I allowed him to give his journalistic view and left it there. I didn't even really give an opinion on that. But this is what I'll say, though. This is what I'll say. I don't think that it's a coincidence that what happened with and this is me probably speculating a little bit, but I think it's more than a coincidence that the earth shut down and many people were conveniently moved out of the way to make room for those who would need habitation. Let me put it that way. I don't think anything was by chance, right? And I'm just speaking general, and for those, I'm speaking in code, and for those who can understand it, I believe that there's no coincidence, and one run right into the other.
So hey, how better way to make room? Because don't forget, there was a big thing going on in what's that, Newark, New Jersey, where you had some people of a certain persuasion knocking on doors, asking people to sell their property. Right before all that broke out.
It happened here too, Elder.
Yeah, during while things were shut down, they was knocking on doors saying, "Hey, I'll pay cash for your place." So yeah, I think you're right on. I think you're right on. Thank you, my brother.
Elder, that's all I had, and thank you and bless you.
I appreciate you, brother, and thanks for trying to keep this keep the platform together here, right?
Yeah, I follow it. I've been following you for a while. You the Elder. I got you, bro.
All right. Well, next time, hey, I tell you what.
Have a good evening.
On Patreon, we can just we can cut loose more free this coming Friday if you would like. But all right.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
My brother, Shalom.
All right, Shalom.
My brother. Hey, it's two particular groups in particular that you have to be very careful on what you say, and it's just the way it is. 504 area code. 504.
Good evening, Elder. How you doing?
Good evening. How are you?
Great. I'm calling from New Orleans. My name is Debbie. I enjoyed the class on tonight. This is my second time catching you.
New Orleans.
This is my
I was born Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
The floor is yours, though, man.
That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, the floor is yours.
Yes, I enjoyed the class on tonight, and not to get off that particular subject, but I wanted to ask you guys, have you been aware, or are you aware of the 215 individuals that they found dead behind the prison in Jackson, Mississippi?
Yes, behind.
If not, that's something you might.
215 people, a mass grave behind a prison in Mississippi unearthed. That's a whole nother thing that I'm going to be tapping into, sister, this coming Friday. Question: Was any of this? Was it ritualistic? Have we? Let me tell you. For how long have we? For years have we been forever under some ritualistic attacks, unbeknownst to ourselves. And I'm saying this. I'm going to say this right now. And I know a lot of our sisters. are, let me just put it this way. The sisters that's in the church been following the work. Listen, following the work, understand you are very careful. But sisters out there in particular, watch what cars you're getting into. All this being flew out and meeting strangers, be very, very careful. Because it's a sister who was prominent and was doing well, millionaire. She came up missing, and they found her bones on the side of a road. With them opening the borders, with these guys coming over here, these Asian dudes drinking blood and all these other things, they're ramping this ritualistic these killings up. And sisters, be very, very careful. All that keeping your location on and showing people where you're eating by yourself. Nah, we're in a different time now. And I don't want anything to happen to our sisters. You have to become more guarded. Be careful where you're going, because I'm going to tell you, the strangers, the foreigners are here, and they're seeking blood. Brothers going to have to be very careful. Okay? People on the side of the road flagging you down, asking for a ride and all that. Folks, let me tell you, the cartels, all of that. There is no borders right now. Be very, very careful, because these ritualistic sacrifices and all that is real. But go on, sister. Sorry about that.
Thank you for that. We needed to hear that.
Yeah.
That's okay, no problem. So I have a question. I'm not sure. Once I left the church, I haven't heard a teaching on should we continue to do communion. And with that being said, usually I run into people every day, every other day. I try to talk to them and inform them of who we are and just give them a brief history. With that being said, is there still such thing as the sinner's prayer? Because I know when I was in church, we did the sinner's prayer of repentance. You know, we accept Yeshua HaMashiach in our life as Master and Savior. So I need directions as to about the communion, because I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I should still continue to take it or what.
Yeah, the communion is still instituted, right? We do it the first.
Okay.
We do it the first
90 seconds.
The first Sabbath of every month. We do it. Okay, flatbread and a little wine, and the communion is instituted. That was instituted through Peter. Even before Peter, Christ instituted that at the Last Supper. So that's done. Okay. Now, when it comes to prayer, the sinner's prayer, that was something that was created. We do the Lord's Prayer. Christ said, "This is how you pray, our Father, which art in heaven." On and on and on.
Okay.
Use the Lord's Prayer. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. I needed that. I appreciate that. You guys be blessed. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. From my home place. Bless you, sister. You have a great night.
Thank you.
Are you in the academy?
You too, thanks, sir.
Are you in the academy?
No, I'm not.
Okay, now you're missing it.
I haven't taken any classes yet.
It's more than what you think. I'm gonna tell you, if you get in one class of the academy, you'll be hooked. Go to historytimes.org. Just look at it. Just look it over. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bless you, sister. Bless you.
All right. Okay.
10 seconds.
Bye-bye.
Man, it's so nice to hear so many of our people coming to the knowledge of the Most High, man. It's surreal. It's happening. 814 area code. And it, Lawya? Ain't it something?
Yes, sir, it is.
Hello?
How you doing? 814 area code.
Shalom.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom. Hey, Brother Elder, I've been, watching you for a long time, and my sister, she's from Brooklyn, and, we from Brooklyn, but, she followed the church, of course. Everything that I've been seeing, because I'm not baptized, I'm not whatsoever, but everything you have been saying, and because, I into what's going on in the world, and I, not put myself as like a non-character player as people move and they see everything. So everything that incline with the Bible, and that just blows my mind. It's incredible. So for me, I'm a salesman, like out of PA, that's where the office was birthed from. So my salesmanship is at an all-time high. So I think that inclining with people, and that's what I'm good at doing, is reverting to the Bible. Because I already know everything that you've been saying. I've been following you for a very long time, and I see everything that's inclining with what was going on in the world. So referring to that, to the people that don't know what's going on, and I look at myself as being powerful, we could extract the Bible to folks in a way that they'll understand. So me personally, like me coming on here, and I'm glad to be here with you and seeing you live, because I always try to come, but I never get through, but finally I'm here. I'm proud my sister's on here and she see me here talking to you, but definitely, like, I would love the guidance, because I know that, just preaching the Bible in a way that people will understand. Because, just like you go to church, regular Christian churches, it'd be boring. But you refer everything that's going on in the world and then to the Bible. So why the churches is not doing that? I don't understand that. And you make it so clear here that you can't, like be here and not understand, because you break it down so like it's phenomenal. So that's why I'm here. I'm just, shout out to this, phenomenal call. Every time you do it, you bring that knowledge that refers to the Bible and what's going on in the world. So, I would personally love to learn the Bible, because like I said, I'm a salesman, and I can, preach it the way that people will understand, especially the youth. The youth is what we need to, captivate, because they going left. Everything that you talk about, it refers to everything that comes to the Bible. So if I learned that, I could possibly, be partake in a congregation. So
Okay.
that's why I'm here.
How old are you?
I know. I'm 36, about to be 37.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you some. I'll give you some tips. Why did the Most High choose David? Why did he choose Moses? I'm asking you.
See, now that's where I'm trying to come to.
Okay.
Understanding the Bible.
Let me give you the answer.
I've been following you.
I'm saying, but let me give you the answer. He chose them because not because they were the greatest or the most articulate. He chose them because they were the meekest amongst men. David was a shepherd. And let me tell you, I love your zeal, right? But if you come in running with your own intention, you'll burn out. The best way to deal with this work as a young man coming in after being baptized is asking the Most High just to use me where you see fit. I don't have any preconceived notion of what I can do. I'm an open vessel to be utilized for whatever you want me to do. You take that position, and guess what? All the gifts and all what you've learned throughout your life, you have the wisdom through the Holy Spirit to know when to pull it out and utilize it. Everything, even your salesmanship. But the Most High, all of that you are, the Most High know already. Right? He just want to know whether or not you're willing to kill yourself.
Dedicate myself.
Kill yourself and be molded in the image of his son. Spiritually. And then all your gifts are utilized anyway. I'm going to tell you, that's the point. When I first seen I was amazed to see men go through this Bible. It was to a point where it humbled me to a degree. And guess what? When I came to the truth, I had many gifts, right? That I thought I'm not speaking of you, I'm just speaking of me. I had many gifts that I thought that meant something that could change my family's lives. And I realized when I seen those men go through the Bible, how much I was lacking. That, listen, I'm willing to put all this down. I'm willing to find out what's in this book. And I will assist them because, hey, they already know the Bible already. Let me find out what they need assistance with. I don't have to be heard. I didn't want to be heard. I didn't care to be heard. What I cared about was I wanted to make sure that I could assist in getting this word out, even if no one see me at all. Right? And then right. Did I know I would be here doing this? No, I just wanted to assist. I'm just giving you a perspective so that you can understand that this is a marathon, because there's a frustration point within this ministry, within this walk, that if you don't walk carefully, you'll run and hit a wall, and guess what? You'll burn out, and you won't make it to the end of it. Right? And I'm here to help you with that. But you got to bring it all the way down and become a sponge.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I absolutely see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's all about discipline.
Humility.
When I correct, and when I subject myself to giving my heart and soul to the Most High, then that's when I can make that transition. But like I said, he can utilize me on whatever he needs me for, because I know that I'm one of his soldiers and I'm here for a reason. So that's the thing that I'm trying to bring out most.
Brother,
and I know that.
Brother, I'll do everything I can to assist you in wherever the Most High use you. I'm here for you. So this is what I'm going to do. Let me have your name.
Leo.
Leo?
First name, Leo. Yeah.
Leo the Lion. Another REI around here. Yeah. All right. And what I'll do is I'll give your number to Bishop Shamal, and he'll reach out to you. And let's get it moving. I love your energy. I love the fact that you already have a direction on a demographic that you could actually, impact. So, hey.
Absolutely.
All right, Leo, let's talk. I mean, we got some young lions.
Yeah,
we got some young lions in Brooklyn and New York that they ain't no joke now. So you're gonna feel right at home.
Absolutely.
You'll feel right at home.
And I'm praising the Most High to the fullest, and I just want my whole entire family to understand that I will definitely dedicate and be disciplined to move in this way, so they can be as watching me as the forefront as a leader, of course. You know what I'm saying? So just guide me through. I will stay in tune and keep in tune, and I will definitely transition to the man that I'm supposed to be at these times that's going on wild crazy. So,
well, thank you, my brother. I'm looking forward to meeting you. All right. All right.
Absolutely.
Bless
Thank
you.
you.
Shalom.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Bless you.
Amen. The Most High is waking these young men up. And that's why they throwing everything at the wall. That's why they just trying to get away, because the next generation isn't going to be like that last generation. Okay? Let me tell you, these people, our people are different. We're not falling for the same programming anymore. It doesn't work. We're done with it. Folks, let me tell you, the Christian church as we knew it officially died when the disease, when COVID came. That was the official destruction of it, and it never came back the same, and it will never be the same. It's over. It's been over for a while. It's just been our sisters holding up what's left of what used to be a strong institution. But it's over. No men, no might. All right. I could be on here all night, but I really have to go because I have to eat. I haven't eaten anything all day. I'll take one more call, and then I'll open up for Patreon, and we'll just take as many calls as you want this coming Friday, okay? I'll interact with Zoom, whatever the case might be, all right? So I'm going to take one more call. If I apologize if I don't get to you, just don't worry about it. Just make sure you call me Friday, and we'll pick it up from where we left off, because I really have some more stuff I wanted to talk about, but, I can't share certain things, that I wanted to say here, I can't dive in as hard as I would like to when it comes to this particular topic from different, as far as some of the stuff I wanted to say. So I'll keep that for Friday. All right. Last call for this evening. I apologize if I don't get to you. If I don't get to you, don't worry about it. I'll pick it up Friday for you. 651 area code is the last call for this evening. 651, and make sure you're getting that Hebrew and Bible Academy.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, your name, talk to me.
Hey, Brother Marco here, Minnesota Body. Double honors to you. How are you today?
Bless you. Thank you. All honor to you, my brother. All praises be to the Most High. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. The floor is yours.
All praises. I just want to keep it short and simple. I was actually going to shoot a text today. My wife randomly sent me a text. And you going into Baruch, it made me it triggered me to call, because, the 6 parts are going to be earthquakes in diverse places. My wife texted me today of a 2.5 magnitude earthquake in Wisconsin in the last few days where I'm from. I go, there's never earthquakes in Wisconsin, of all places. So that was just interesting. And I was going to shoot you a text around that just to check it out. But when has there ever been an earthquake in Wisconsin? It just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, it's deep in of itself. Hey, it's happening. I
Yeah,
seen a tornado touch
And
down in
then-
Florida, hit one area, and you see it blow up like a plant, like an electric plant, and then it just moved out of the way. It came out of the sky. Hey, those realm wars are deep. The realm wars, I'll tell you right now, the Bible, Baruch talks about those realm wars. There's a spiritual battle that's bringing Armageddon to the surface, to the earth. And that's, hey, as long as we're on the right side of this, right? But go on.
Elder. No, and the other thing too, without getting too deep, it's just the video you showed in the beginning about that tunnel. You see that, and not too deep investigation on that. But when, let's say a basketball player just shares a tweet, that's a whole different anti-story. And it's just, we already know what it is, but it's just look at how the two sides of those coins, like literally.
That's quite interesting.
Now
that's interesting, right? Like you would think that what we seen in that tunnel would get more pushback and media coverage than Kyrie Irving sharing a tweet, right? But go on.
Seems like an open shut case.
I mean, Kyrie wasn't harming anyone, right? But based on what I've seen with, I think a bed that belongs to kids and a baby carriage and. But I digress.
Yeah,
but go on.
That's what I had on that point. I know you're hungry. Trying to bow out. So what I'm thinking is, I just want to say, see you at Passover. My family's excited. My children are excited. We typically kind of get some stuff for Purim that goes along with Passover the next month, and we're excited to see you out there. So,
hey, brother, let me tell you,
and, blessings.
Man, this Passover is going to be something different. That's all I can say. Let me tell you, you would have to be there. I'm glad you'll be there. All right?
Okay. Agreed.
All right. Well, thank you, my brother.
Bless you, and yes, sir. Bless you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, my brother. The Most High is calling back Israel. Elder Lawya.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you for assisting me this evening. It's been a very, very good broadcast, eye-opening. And hey, I'll tell you right now, the powers of the world are coming down.
Yes, indeed.
And Israel is rising. All praises be to Christ. Okay, we just have to get on code with one another. And I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, one of the deepest ills that I feel is amongst our people is that it's being hard-hearted to a point where as a people we're unforgiving. And we just have to forgive, even those who you think in your mind wouldn't even accept your forgiveness. Forgive them anyway. I believe all of that, when it comes, you hold it negative, it turns into sickness, resentment. It weighs you down. And let's forgive. Let's just walk the earth light, with no resentment. We've all been hurt throughout time. We have to let that go, because Satan tends to have those things come in our mind, because this is how he is. He still thinks he belongs near the throne of God after disobeying. And now he's walking around the earth negative, resentful, thinking about his glory, where he was, how the Most High chose other angels over him, and all these other, issues and scenarios that leads directly to hell. Let's forgive. Let's forgive. Let's walk light. Because why? You may need some more, I would say spiritual energy to carry the weak. The strong should do what? Bear the infirmities of the weak. And we can't carry anything
carrying negative baggage, being unforgiven. And that's Christ. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not, and keep in mind, thank you, Elder Lawya, the Most High is calling back his people. We're the children of Israel, and we're back. See you Friday.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Ruben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel.